Futures back in the green here as we get going on a Tuesday morning, trying to bounce anyways right now, coming off a bit of a slide into the end of the day yesterday, but pretty impressive across the board to start things off on a Monday. There's 4.8% right now for GM. They reported in the pre-market. Big move to the upside here. Daily chart looking pretty good. We're right at that high right now for GM. We'll have a look at that. Tesla, meanwhile, coming up after the close tonight. We'll hear about their latest quarter and get Elon's opinion on how things are going to go into the remainder of the year. So lots to look forward to, not only in EV land, but I mean, we get Spotify. I mean, there's more details coming out about Apple ahead of their earnings. Amazon, you can now subscribe to get groceries, which is actually kind of cool, I thought. I don't know if you can update that along the way if you'd like to change, or if it's just a straight up.
Did you see the turnaround time? An hour?
That's
half an hour? What? Okay. We're going to have to figure this out in Canada. Yeah, great look there for Amazon. GM, though, was the biggest surprise for me here. They beat aggressively on the top and bottom line, really on the back of North American sales. And those North American sales were mostly pickup trucks, Brendo. So the truck segment in North America continues to lift up these automakers. Good look for them on the day.
Yeah, we'll see if some of this EV talk can get going again for GM and the likes of GM and Ford and whatnot. There's NVDA, meanwhile. I just saw pop up on a scanner in front of me. Yeah, nice start here. 1.3% for NVIDIA. Nice day yesterday. Gapped up, held the gap, and ran essentially all day long. But yeah, all eyes and focus on this one. Kicking off, I don't know, do we still say the Magnificent Seven?
I do.
Nostalgic, I guess.
I like them, Brenda.
Earnings after the close tonight for Tesla. Happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Tesla Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, Magnificent Seven, yeah, you can still call them that. I'm pretty sure in every single iteration of the Seven Samurai, the Magnificent Seven, the movies, it's not like all of them survive, right? Spoiler alert, if you haven't heard that story a million times. But Tesla, after the bell, maybe they will, maybe they won't, but the expectations aren't that high. So I do feel like you might have one of those inside type days for Tesla. Don't want to get too far away from the wall. I'm not completely convinced that the chip names in this rally, or I guess relief bounce that we've had yesterday, is going to be able to continue. We still have to get a report out of Intel this week. They'll be the big one. But there is some news with regard to NVIDIA that's worth watching. And then Apple, yeah, just more, I mean, you call it bad news. Chinese delivery numbers, not necessarily looking that fantastic. And look, at the end of the day, Apple's been under pressure already. It did give that big move back in the afternoon, so I want to go back to that. Well, NVIDIA, going to look for very specific setups. That long breakout setup has been fantastic. If we see it again today, definitely going to hammer that. But I'm just excited. You got the blue on, Sean. I didn't actually get to see the game because I was in bed, but I watched.
What?
I mean, I go to sleep. I go to sleep really early. So I don't
see any of the game.
No, not any of the game. I didn't see the end of the game. Like I'll be able to tune in as we're going through. I have it on my phone as we're going through our evening stuff at home, and I'm like reading my daughter. I can have that on my phone through the evening. But then I go to bed, so I didn't see the actual end until the morning when I watched the clip. Unbelievable goal. But all you got to do is win one on the road, and now the Leafs, they're ahead.
Yeah, my 9-year-old had to go to bed with about 5 minutes left because she was up at 5:30 this morning, so on the ice, and she woke up to a nice goal. Well, we actually watched the Matthews goal in bed with her, so that was fun. Yeah, we've got lots of stuff on our mind here today. Apple should be one I'm going to be looking at as well. I like that Amazon story. I think that's real cool. Leafs probably now will win in 6, I guess. So shout out to all my Bruins fans out there as well. General Motors, amazing. Ford yesterday. Ford was up 6% yesterday and leading, I think, all the S&P. So there you go. I mean, Ford, bang, right to the upside. I'm excited for this report, especially after GM coming through. I am really excited for Ford. So hopefully that one will get going here as, yeah, apparently EVs are not so super hot. But you know what? I bet you Tesla's higher tomorrow. So right now it's 142. What do you think, Neil? Higher or lower tomorrow? 142.
At the open of now?
At the open. Tomorrow at the open.
I'll go lower.
All right, so there you go.
I still think we'll see, but even if it goes higher tomorrow, I'm still not convinced it's, I think we'll see closer to like 125 before we see like a 1 in 75 or
Oh, yeah. Playing
Like, I
those
still
odds.
think that-
But
no, I still
just,
think this
just
trend is-
higher or lower. So lower,
I
higher.
said lower because I think
All
we're
right.
going lower.
What do you guys think over there? Higher, lower, Tesla tomorrow at this time?
Lower.
Lower? Yeah, I'm going to have to. Well, you know what? It wouldn't be that interesting if you say lower and I say lower.
True.
I'm going to say higher.
Okay.
But I'm going to say they beat.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's go.
I mean, it's either going to be one or the other. I would be shocked
Yeah,
if
I
it
know.
was very flat and not really doing anything. We shall see.
Sean wants in.
So Brendan just said it's going to be one or the other, higher or lower. So I think that that's a very, very accurate statement. To that, I just want.
Be at exactly 142.02
Yeah,
again.
yeah. So we're going to
Possible.
stamp it.
Sean, I said this
Possible.
on the podcast too. It's
I
not
know.
going to be nothing, is what I'm
know.
saying. It's going to be extreme,
Yeah.
one way or the other.
God,
But anyways, yeah,
what?
If it's
we'll touch on Tesla coming up here. Let's touch on Spotify as well, because a nice gap to the upside here this morning. There's a few things to note when it comes to Spotify. Their monthly active user forecast a bit of a miss for Spotify. So I mean, this thing got sold off pretty heavily into the report, but here we are back higher as gross profit topped €1 billion for the first time. Not bad.
Yeah, Brendo, and they're making money now. I mean, premium subs, which is the paying, obviously, the paying echelon, I guess, of subscribers, 14% year-over-year growth. Revenue grew 20% year-over-year. It's not a bad look there. In terms of income, their operating income, they tightened up things a little bit. With their ARPU, average revenue per user, 5% year-over-year increase. So it wasn't a bad look.
I mean, they keep re-upping all these podcasters. They just re-upped Rogan again on a massive contract and also said he could go and put it wherever he wants.
Yeah.
So they don't even have exclusivity anymore for Rogan's podcast. He's back on YouTube as well, and they're paying him more. But yeah, as you said, they're making money and then some, guys. Nice look for Spot.
Oh, they really are. The premium subs on that one. I'm good, Randy. Thank you. Actually, I just got one.
I'll take one, my guy.
Oh, before we go, because I heard Rob yell it out. Tesla's at 142 right now. Reports aftermarket, higher or lower at this time tomorrow.
Okay, higher or lower than 0%? Get out of here.
How is that?
All right.
Because the odds.
That added a lot of nothing to the topic.
I
So
would
thank you
place
for that.
The odds of exactly flat are probably 1 in what? 5,000?
Exactly flat.
1
No,
in 5,000. I don't know. 1 in 1,000.
So-
Like it's
all
such
right.
a ridiculous long shot. Maybe flat should be within 50 cents up or down, and then at least it's something.
No, let's just clarify what it is. I would say if Tesla moves greater than or equal to 2%, that is a nothing burger. That is a
Okay, so you're
completely irrelevant move.
Yeah, so
2%.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because I mean, we could move 2% off open today
Yeah, that's
just because something fat-fingered.
Believe you.
Like I don't. So I looked it up. Are we supposed to be talking about anything else here? No, right?
I mean,
Okay, good.
Spotify had great.
Oh,
numbers.
Spotify, yeah. I sold that thing at 310. Okay, so here's Tesla
this
right
today.
here. Expected move, so there it is right there, 9%. 9.7, last move 12.1. So I would say like a nothing burger is exactly, oh, here we go, perfect, Ramin.
Everyone's gonna
I'm
put
just
flat
really
like the
glad,
earth
like
now.
here we are creating content and here we go, flat like the earth. I have to select that one
I already.
because I am a flat earther.
I already
so.
did.
If I do not select that, I can't remember. That was one of the best things I watched on Netflix. There was some sort of a flat earth thing. It was hilarious. These guys were going to conventions and believing that there was flat earths. Oh, did you know, yeah, below the curve or something like that? Yeah. So you know what's the best thing ever is the birds aren't real. That's the best. Like that there's all these birds are little robots and everything like that. What was that? All right, yeah. Let's get some business done, and then we'll get to the entertaining stuff.
Gotta keep the conspiracy theories down.
To the desk.
First segment of the show brought to you by our friends at Alfonso AI. Alfonso's adaptive AI predicts the best times to buy and sell stocks, helping you increase your odds for generating alpha. Join now and get 50% off their pro monthly subscription using code TRADER50. Scan the QR code and download the app today. I mean, a few other things of note here this morning. We were touching on BTC a little bit throughout the day yesterday. Some of the miners on watch yesterday, a little bit of relative strength coming through. I noticed this morning. Back downside ever so slightly here. It's worth noting the Dollar is or was higher to start the morning. We're now red on the day. Yields are back to the upside. It's Tuesday. We're frankless this week, but it's Tuesday, so yields typically go up when it's Frank Day around here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just going to talk quickly about Bitcoin yesterday, about the spot ETF seeing about $35 million of inflows in one day after the halving event. Not really a big topic of discussion there. Yeah, as you said yesterday, Brendo, and today, the 2-year was really on the precipice of 5%. As you can see here, guys, 5%. We got into that 4.986 at the highs yesterday, just a smidge below 5. But we are still putting in those higher lows and higher highs, Brenda. So I feel like we were going to see 5% shortly.
Overall, the market doesn't care. Back to the upside we go here, guys. We're testing recent highs anyways for the overall market.
Yeah, look, if you look at it, we had relief rally sort of yesterday, and most of the earnings so far this morning have been, pretty solid. That said, we haven't got any big tech names out there, but we did sort of, look, we didn't really talk about Spotify, but this is probably not the biggest trade usually for us, but it's up 10%. So you're going to exceed some expectations here. And on top of that, it wasn't even like the user numbers. It was the premium tier that held things together for these bad boys, which I think that's a great sign if they're able to, when you're able to get that greater tier and get the better margins out there, that's generally going to be a good sign. So I think that's great for them. They bounced off to 50. I don't know if you're going to be clean. Ooh, banana bread.
I like banana bread.
I love banana bread. Flat. He still says flat.
What,
flat
the earth, you mean? Yeah, see?
Well, Randy's.
I knew I liked Randy.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Us flat earthers have to stick together.
Well, you and Kyrie can keep that one as far as I'm concerned.
I thought I saw some birds in here, actually. Have
They're
you
not
seen
real.
that? Yeah, they're really
not real.
So the other day I saw this dead bird on the ground and I opened it up and there was mechanical, so there was that. No, I'm not touching any dead birds.
Yeah, that you don't want to do. I mean,
how's the banana bread?
Good.
I like that. We got some decent banana bread. Oh, okay, here we go. I want to look up something else here because we're going to get to this in a minute. Roblox. This finally gets upgraded here. JP Morgan, and exactly what they said, highlights a significant monetization potential. Over the weekend, both my kids asked for more Robux. So, I mean, I think this is a great opportunity to get like a newer technology, especially with, you know what, and then you know what else we watched, and I don't think I can approve this because he's going to be 13-ish when Grand Theft Auto comes out. But that game, I was watching the trailer for this. Fabian, you seen this trailer? Obviously, you've seen the trailer for Grand Theft Auto. Oh, man, it is amazing. I'm like sitting there. No wonder why some of these grandmas are getting tricked into thinking it's real life. Like, I'm sitting there watching this thing, and I'm like, I was playing Vice City. I thought that was cool for like PS2 or whatever it was. I was like, damn, these graphics are hot. And then now I'm watching this stuff, and it is just like, wow. So me and Fabian had talked about this and buying like Leaps or something like that for Take-Two. But it's come down really nice now. So this could be because I'm talking Roblox, so I'm going back over to Take-Two. I think that this is also potentially a good opportunity. And then you could buy Sony. Would that be the hottest system for it? Or PC maybe, probably, for Grand Theft. So I think you can get your money in that way as well. Graphics cards and things like that, GPUs. I mean, even the lowest of NVIDIA cards probably is fine. But I like Take-Two down here. Yeah, you're exactly. So that's what I was thinking. See, this is what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing? Picks and shovels, baby. Picks and shovels. And so everyone's going to need, my kid's probably going to be like, I need a new graphics card, to run this game.
Sony's been bad.
Picks and shovels.
Sony's been bad. And if I don't know, like that chart on Sony, like it's not an exciting one, but I don't know, the $80 level looks mighty flat bottom breaky there. But TCW, I was surprised. I said this. I'm surprised that after the Activision deal, that there were no further consolidations or deals in the gaming space. Like there was nobody that took another run to try to. I still think that can happen. Like once that went through, you're creating more of a juggernaut out there, and I just feel like it's there should be some more deals happening, consolidations. I know Netflix is doing some small stuff, and that would be great for them. Like it would be the easiest thing in the world, just looking in my household, if Disney or Netflix were to better incorporate gaming into their streaming platform, because I know 100% then that's all my daughter would be wanting to do. Like, she plays her Switch every now and then.
Thank you for reminding me. I have to cancel Disney Plus. These guys
Hating. Why? You don't?
It sucks. Like, these guys came out at $89. I thought, okay, that's okay. Then they went to $119. Then now the renewal is $149. And honestly, I don't even remember the last. I'm not even asking my family. I don't remember the last time anybody watched anything.
Well, we'll
watch Simpsons. What else?
I mean, I watch all the time.
Family Guy. Yeah, but what else? What do you watch?
Dude, I'm watching.
What is it?
I'm watching every single Star Wars thing that comes out. So I'm all about Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Only murders in the what is it called again?
I've seen.
No, but they had
the
the new. There was the new one with the guy from Law and Order Rescue. I forget the name of it. There was like a murder on the boat. That was a really good one. They have solid stuff, man. Like, there's a couple of movies we watched from there. There's like all the old Disney content my daughter can't do without. So
Yeah.
you know, so like it's no. But that said, if I didn't have Aaron, and I wasn't a huge,
it's the worst.
and I wasn't a huge Star Wars Marvel guy, then we wouldn't have it. But like. You know, but if you're like a hardcore like I am, then yeah, you will. Most people you probably can do without. I would actually say that Apple is dominating science fiction. Like, I'm like high quality like science fiction shows.
We get that for free, but
it gets legit though. Like, they've got that All for Mankind or whatever show out there. They got Foundation. Like, they have a lot of really good content on Apple. But again, they don't have to be profitable on it, which is an advantage for them in production.
Thing is like, you know, even 150, to cancel it does seem. I mean, maybe they can have one good program and it might be worth it alone. They don't have South Park. Yeah, we don't get like all that Hulu stuff here, I don't think.
South Park?
Yeah, South Park is Paramount, yeah. That might have turned it. What about
You could always
Amazon?
watch South Park again.
I'm gonna ask my wife. But then we'll wind up keeping it. What do you guys have over there? Sharif, you still using your parents' Netflix over there or what?
I got Netflix. I've been watching The Crown, Sean. I'm season 2, baby. The Crown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not bad. Shows you like the inner workings of the royal family. It's not for everybody. I like it. You don't have to like it. I like it.
I have no idea. A couple things. Affirm, real quick. Downside this morning on reports that Walmart is going to bring in One. One is a buy now, pay later service that they themselves have backed. So big gap down here for AFRM, back below 30 bucks. I was reading this yesterday as well. Thought it was kind of interesting. Snowflake, that's their Toronto office. A 52,000 square foot new space in Toronto has opened.
Oh, wow. Well,
that's not small.
It's not.
And they're hiring apparently too in Toronto.
Not a bad look.
Yeah.
Yeah, this buy now, pay later from Walmart should be very interesting here. It threatens the likes of Affirm and Capital One, Brendo, who have deals with Walmart right now for the buy now, pay later. And this one buy now, pay later format is going to be actually available at the retail locations, 4,600 of them to be exact, Brendo. So we'll have to see exactly how Affirm trades on the day. This could be an interesting look.
Yeah, notably weak here to start things off. Fabian. Thank you. Yeah, ugly on the 15-minute chart, guys, on that.
Short the pops on Affirm today?
Oh, no.
I mean, it's not down 10% yet.
Disney?
So it's only 7% to the downside. You have 30.5, which is yesterday's bottom. Then you have 29. We're at this low right now, the 29.5 level. I mean, competition is never going to help. I like that headline that they were going to start charging interest. I thought that was pretty good for them, but you didn't break it out. Too bad they couldn't drop this news in the afternoon when we're short it and only able to get like a 30-cent move out of the $30 stock, and now it's down 7%. But I think you short the pops in Affirm today. It's nice to have. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you want to have a catalyst. That's always better when you're trading if there's like some reason the eyes are on the stock. And truth be told, like, we trade this sometimes when there isn't even a specific catalyst. But yeah, back into this support level, 30.5. I will be looking for some shorts. Maybe we'll have to revisit it at the open. But yeah, competition for a stock that was already under pressure. We've talked about this one trending down. It has a chance to bounce off the 200-period moving average, but the way I see it, it also has a decent chance to break it down off that level. So I'll short into an initial bounce and then go from there on Affirm. SSR would be, like short sell restricted isn't until it's underneath 29 bucks. So until it gets, that's almost $1 from here before it even gets 10%.
Man. So I found out we can't cancel Disney.
Ah.
That Vanderpump's Rules thing is on there. Vanderpump Villa. I thought it was on Netflix. I was scrolling through Netflix. These Vanderpump people are all over the place. Yeah. All right.
Oh.
Yes, it's somehow on Disney, she says, my wife, yeah. So she's hating on it as well, but we have to keep it because they have that one program. Look, those of you that have made a lot of money on Affirm here, I covered. We were short 50. That was an amazing trade just because of how much it got accelerated to the upside. I never liked this business anyways. It's too easy to get involved with. And now there's more competition. Walmart's coming out. And it's not good. This is one name that I definitely would not buy at the 200-period moving average at all, Affirm. I think it goes lower. I think this is eventually a nothing. So I don't like it. I mean, it's probably not a nothing. Someone might buy them, but I don't know what their book looks like. So we'll have to wait to see. When are their earnings? We'll get the real true story here if they actually have any business. Let me see, AFRM. Because how could these guys guide forward? So think about that. So right now, this is May 8th. So if right now good stocks like Netflix can come out with good quarters, Verizon can come out with a decent quarter, forget what else. Well, the airlines blew it out, but JP Morgan, some of these names that got hit regardless have decent and real good businesses. Affirm now has gun pointed right at them, and we're going to see what happens on May 8th. So you're 2 or 3 weeks away from probably disaster in this name. So this is definitely a fade it all. Fade it all until that earth gets flat, because this one right here is a short all day. So we'll be doing that as I continue to work on the sticky note.
Roblox here kicking off the list of upgrades. This upgrade from JP Morgan, you can read more about it on our watch list. Penn Entertainment here getting an upgrade from Truist, trading up almost 5%, so nice look there. Datadog getting an upgrade here from Wells Fargo, and First Solar getting an upgrade here from Evercore ISI. Solar is also going to be in watch tonight with Enphase earnings. Downgrade starting off here with Warner Brothers Discovery getting a downgrade and trading a little bit lower here from Wolfe Research. Morgan Stanley downgrading Harley Davidson. Sonova getting a downgrade here from KeyBank, and last but not least here, Canadian National, getting downgraded by Desjardins.
Yeah, I think the standout name out of those, as already probably mentioned, is Roblox in terms of earnings. Sorry, upgrades and downgrades, and it's a decent enough catalyst. When I tweeted out, it was basically this 37 if it can clear it out. So it's a bit of a gap breakout, and I do like dips into previous support or resistance levels in this case. So that'd be a dip into like 35.80, like 35.60 to 35.80, somewhere in that range. I do like that setup, but there's also a setup that it can break it out and have $1.50-ish room to next resistance at about 38.5. You had a nice close around there. So yeah, Roblox, decent chance it could break it out. The volume's not that great yet, but that's just a matter of time. At the open, things will open up for this stock. So yeah, it's got to be on the radar. I didn't really look at the other names on that list. First Solar, not always most tradable. I know there's some volatility that comes in with those names, but it's been a hot minute since we were front of the list for trading the solar names.
Yeah, the only name I want to talk about was Roblox. Break of 37.20. I'm long there. It's on the sticky note. Back to the desk.
Really, really cool. A few other movers here. I was just noting Fiserv to the downside this morning. We had JetBlue lowering their annual revenue forecast. Latin America trips and demand a problem apparently for JBLU. Yeah, I mean, General Motors, we were touching on Affirm and SNOW as well. Not really doing anything, but I thought that was a really cool story. I mean, some of these tech companies that are moving into this, the new tech I guess, areas of downtown Toronto. I mean, King Street is mostly Shopify at this point, and then we were just talking about the Well building at Spadina in front. Apparently they took 3 floors. Shopify took 3 floors of that. Here comes Snowflake now, taking up 52,000 square feet in downtown.
Yeah, well, that's good because we had an issue with commercial real estate, especially tenancies in older buildings. So we'll have to wait and see how that does. But yeah, it was an interesting look today for JetBlue as well, because we mentioned that quickly at the top. The guidance here is really the issue, guys. They're talking about 10.5% drop in second quarter revenue as a result of cutting some lines. As Brendo mentioned, they are going to focus on their Latin America lines, which are the most productive for them, but not a good look here, especially after the deal fell through with Spirit.
Are you a Coke or Pepsi guy?
Coke. Even though I like the blue, Pepsi Blue, though. So.
Really? Yeah. I haven't had either in a long time. Here's Pepsi this morning. They reported as well. Not really a stock that we talk about very often, rightfully so. It doesn't really do much, but 3, 4, 5 days in a row here, straight to the upside, guys, into earnings, but pretty quiet to start things off for Pep coming off their report.
Yeah, well, no one says rum and Pepsi. I'll leave that. That's the answer that matters to me most, because hey, at the end of the day, it's Coke for that. But if you want diversification, just a little more diversified, technically speaking, when you have Pepsi, they got more brands and all that stuff, a little bit bigger. You got the snack presence, all that good stuff. But Pepsi, no volume. I do like when you have like these kind of names for the overall economy doing well, right? Like when you get a report, like I didn't want to see JB Hunt have a bad report to start earnings season off. I do like to see UPS up. I do like to see Pepsi, hopefully. Right now it's slightly down, but overall it's been doing pretty well lately, and sometimes it's more about where you come from than where you're going to go on earnings. So you ramp up $11, which is a good 6% move, actually closer to 7% move from recent lows on Pepsi into earnings in the last week. So it's a decent chance that you could see some profit taking here. It's not a volatile stock. I do like the fact that it's potentially breaking out here. But even a breakout for this, it'll take a month or two and then get to like 195 to give you that 10% move, which is great for them because they're a pretty defensive name. But it's not a trade here for a day trader. And even the spread, like you got a 40, 50 cent spread when it's already not going to move a ton. So not going to be doing much with Pepsi here, but I do want to see this with a positive reaction. I mean, if Pepsi were to give it up here, you've had a couple of the more bellwether names already show some signs of weakness in the overall economy, and at the end of the day, we do want the economy to be well, even if the stock market isn't the economy whatsoever. That's why we don't really trade things like Pepsi. I have a piece of this in my portfolio. It's kind of like I put it there and leave it. It's like one of those safe hedges. I don't do stuff like gold, but it's a pretty decent bellwether name that if you buy it on the support levels, you risk a little bit less to the downside, and I wouldn't be doing anything here.
No, Pepsi's been, it's up 3% this year, so that's pretty, you're losing a lot. Like Neil said, you're going to get the 2% dividend or whatever. It's fine, but yeah, not great. I mean, they got hit there on GLP-1 worries. They've battled back. That's nice right now. It definitely looks like it's breaking out, I would say, out of this level. But like I just finished saying, you're up. I mean, now after, I just saw on Trade Ideas, see, like this, because the year started here. And we went, the year started, yeah, we might even be less than that, maybe 3% up. So we started the year nice, fell back into that 162. There's no way I'd be buying this thing here. I think you got to wait for pullbacks. I mean, it gives you those opportunities. But yeah, Pepsi's pretty good. It's a little, I guess 3% so far. It's a little bit better of a beat than inflation. So yeah, better than having cash, if you got to pay tax.
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here as we head towards the open on busy Tuesday. Sharif is always going to kick it off with a look at the market.
Yep, just below 50.50, guys. We closed that at 50.48. Let's use that 50.50 as that level of support, that Monday close. 5,100, you can see this consolidation area here on April 14th and 15th. Let's use that to the north side as resistance.
Let's get into this. If you haven't done so, make sure you grab that. It's free for you from us every single day. It comes right to your inbox for free. All you need is an email. There's a ton to look at this morning. Top of the list this morning, this one. We touched on it briefly there, but just took out the highs again here for spot. 11.18%. Man, I'm blind. For Spotify here, a pretty good report, but there was some questions as far as the forecast is concerned and the guidance, but price don't lie.
Yeah, the guidance was a bit of an issue, as you mentioned, but what I really liked here was the fact that they're growing subs on both ends of the spectrum. Their premium subs, which are the monthly paying subs, grew 14% year over year. At the same time, their revenue, their ad revenue grew 20%. That's basically for everybody who's using the free account. So I like the fact that they're growing from both sides. Good look here for Spotify.
Yeah, the investment, massive investment in podcasting has paid off so far for Spot.
Absolutely, and that's one place that you can find the Markets podcast. Every single weekend, check it out Saturday morning, drops at about 10 o'clock, and thankfully, look, whether you have Spotify or not, Apple, Spotify, you can catch it on YouTube, you can watch it, listen to it, all that good stuff. So, we're happy to see Spotify succeed. I don't own the stock. I know you recently sold it. It's actually continuing to move. It was 8% when we mentioned this, 10 minutes ago. Call it that, and now it's 12% to the upside. There's an outside chance, not an outside chance, there's a decent chance you could see the 52-week high today up at 315, or maybe it's like 314, 315. I was always thinking when you have this kind of a gap and the volume was light, which it was before this last push, that you can get some selling and profit taking. It feels like that's the environment that we're in. When people see this, there'll be some profit taking at the open. I had 284 written down when it was consolidating here for like a stink bid-ish in front of previous highs. I got to throw that out the window, and sometimes that's a bit of an adjustment. So I won't be bidding this one. Feels like it's gone too far away, and I wouldn't be chasing this to the upside. There's chip names to worry about, ARM, AMD, NVIDIA, Roblox, Coinbase, the 228 breakout from yesterday that we talked about is still going to be in play. There's a lot to look at today. Spotify looks fantastic. I think it has a chance to test that 52-week high. If not today, certainly this week.
Yeah, Spotify. This is a name that, before I became a sort of all bundled up there with Apple, I like Spotify. And I was actually involved in this on the direct list, and I just sold it just the other day. I think it was 309. To be honest with you. So this is a huge move back up. So that's great. Like right back into this area. I just thought it was getting toppy. We talked about that live here on the show. So this is a good one for me. We had gotten some out on the way up. It's not like we went from like, I think this only came out at like 150. So it's like a double in a couple of years. It's not like a monster trade, but this is a good level here, 309. I mean, you're trying to break it. You're trying to get a lot higher. I think we could actually get there. Honestly, I mean, I know we're up 11%. We talk about when, and especially shout out to Danielle Shea, who will be coming, I believe, back this week on the Market Recap show every week, and sometimes even on our show. I don't know, she might be here on Thursday maybe as well. I'll look in our calendar. But right here, let me just see what the expected move for Spotify was. What is their market cap? Hold on a second, April 23rd. It was this morning, wasn't it? Or was it last night? There it is right there. Okay, so it's not a huge market cap. So their expected move was 9.8%. Okay, so I actually thought that this was a little bit more. So last time they only moved 3%. So this time that big mover. So okay, I was going to say sometimes when you outpace your move, and this is from Danielle, then it will just continue to go because the options are going to be working. They're going to let it ride, and there's nothing stopping this. So that could be something those of us that bet short will have to cover because the move, it's put them outside of whatever their delta was. So now you're all the way to the upside, and Spotify could continue that move now. So if we're up like 13 or 14% by the time these imbalances drop at 925 and it's a buy, this thing could really start to go. So yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm that we get into this like 310, 312 area today. So I think Spotify's a win here, and you'll probably want to take out the pre-market high if you like the stock. So Spotify on a strong market, strong name, good beat, subscription model. The market loves subscription models. I say Spotify's a buy, but watch out for that 312 top.
Yeah. Just a heads up on Google here, OpenAI and Meta as well. Apparently all have agreed to incorporate new safety measures to protect children from exploitation and plug several holes in their current AI defenses. That's from the Wall Street Journal. So Google itself announcing their commitment to safety by design in their generative AI principles. So Google not really doing much on that, but positive anyways on the morning. Let's talk about Apple here. I mean, I feel like we've touched on this story already, but Chinese iPhone shipments down 19% in Q1, the worst performance since 2020.
I feel like this is already baked in, but maybe the data changes from time to time. Maybe we see steeper declines than first reported. 19.1% in the first 3 months of the year is the reduction in the amount of iPhones that they're selling in China. It comes on the other side of the balance sheet here for Huawei, where they surged 69.7% year over year in terms of how much they sold. You'll recall late last year we heard that they made breakthroughs with respect to their chips, and they're offering now the Mate 60 Pro, which is 5G compatible. So a lot of interest there.
Yeah, third now for Apple in that market, which is, I mean, Vivo and Honor, I saw. Crazy.
Yeah, but it's a pretty big market. And we already know, the sort of the issues that they have with, like, there's loyalty that goes there, and you have the government essentially encouraging said loyalty. Let's be real about that for a split second. Like, think in a fair playing field, I think we all understand it might go a little bit differently. Yeah. But Apple, look, they've been under pressure. If not for the way that it sold off yesterday, I might shrug that off, this story. But this was looking really strong early in the afternoon, then it just got to 167, which was consolidation zone, and then just sold off. So there's still some resistance at these levels on Apple, people taking some profit. So I look at that 167, we get back up there again, and I think that's a fade. If it can clear out the quarters, like 167 quarter, I say stop fighting it at that point. But I'm going to look to short the pops. I mean, the daily chart, it looks like we're just sort of consolidating off of this broken down support level, at least for the time being. So no big legs to the downside. Hasn't been a gigantic bump. I think that allows you to play the fade trade into 167. So not much has changed here on Apple. I don't know that you're going to get an outsized day, but 167 reared its head yesterday. And coupled with this news as well, I'll go back to looking for shorts at that price.
Apple. So I am doing the sticky note right now. It will be trade idea number one. I mean, honestly, and I know everybody's yelling at me, get it out, get it out, get it out. I'll get it out. I'll get it out. So I was just, pretty negative here. Negative into the close yesterday. We had this short in the market. It was an absolute banger there at the end of the day into the close. Apple, again, not great. As we've said, the story is something that we already know. The Chinese government basically came out and quietly banned Apple products. I mean, they just said, look, nobody working for the government, we're not going to support Apple products. So therefore, if you have one, you're frowned upon. So that's gone. So you kick that out and you get something else, right? And now you'll just have to wait for earnings, which are on, is it the 26th? Let me just find out for you when exactly Apple earnings are, AAPL. So there it is right there. No, May 2nd, yeah, so they're next week actually. So you'll have to wait to see next week to see what happens with Apple. And I think that's when this gets really interesting. But for now, I'm fading all of these pops. You're gonna wait to the sticky note to see the key levels, but I'm not buying anything. I don't have any bids down here, and honestly, the level that I think we take is this 164. So this is Friday's bottom right here, made around 12 o'clock. I think that's in question if the market, the market's up though. The market, ever since I'd had this idea for a short in Apple, the market's just been trending higher. So, Apple looks like it's going to break 164 when it's down here near 165, and then all of a sudden it bumps up about $1.50, gets to 166.20, and now, we'll watch out for the fade. The NASDAQ, and I'll leave the futures for later, but the NASDAQ 17.4, 17.5, this is why we shorted yesterday. We had this play in the TQs. So if the NASDAQ and Apple are going to be tied at the hip, well, this is up 0.4, and this is negative. So I'm red. Dead red today on Apple. Changed my mind. So back to the desk.
If that. We were just talking about this Amazon grocery delivery. It's crazy. Unlimited grocery delivery for Prime members. Amazon taking out the highs here as well. Looks pretty good to start, up a full % already.
Yeah, Brendo, and it's not just for Prime subscribers, actually. There's going to be a possibility here if you're on the electronic benefits transfer in the States for subsidized food. You're going to be able to get this as well for a subscription fee of $4.99 rather than the regular $9.99. It's going to be available in 3,500 cities. You'll be able to get things from Whole Foods, Amazon Fresh, and local grocery stores. So they are working with the local businesses. So good luck here for Amazon.
I want this here. The one thing with grocery delivery, from my experience anyways here, is that the produce specifically is questionable at best by the time it actually gets to you. So maybe coming from Whole Foods, that wouldn't be the case, but great idea.
You like to pick your own fruits and vegetables?
Definitely.
Same with me.
Definitely, but you would think like Whole Foods as a store has a certain level of quality, so I'm down.
I'm with you on the higher level of quality, but I just find like the issue.
I prefer lower quality.
The issue is the picking. No, like it's like there's two issues with it. Like I like the whole being able to pick. 'Cause even if you go and get better produce, I like to be able to pick the best ones. And like when someone shops for you, even if it's better quality, they're not taking the time to make sure the 6 apples that they pick are going to be good ones. It is what it
Best
is.
is to have your own personal assistant.
Yeah, like that will. I mean, that would be obviously ideal.
Shout out.
But Amazon, hey, like Amazon's up 1 point into this as the NASDAQ's trying to go higher. I don't know if it gives us like a 180 break. That's kind of the key level. I drew this line, didn't hit save, so let me just do that. And then I'll hit save so that the next time I look at this will actually be there for me. But yeah, the 180 level looks like something that we could test today. I much prefer in this environment to be looking for the dip buys. You had a previous close 177.25, which does set you up for that trade that was that did so well with NVIDIA recently, which is if you get a dip that false breaks the pre-market low, whether it's the dip buy back through or just the breakout the top. And I think he got room to 178 today. The chips have been coming first for me, obviously, and I think that's not necessarily changing, but yeah, like I'm looking to short pops in Apple, but Amazon, not the case. This is one I'd rather be going long. And it's not necessarily about this story per se. The other good thing for Amazon is it's a reclaim of the 50 period here. You know, just yesterday, it kind of closed. It bounced, closed underneath, and now you're above it. So that line, previous close price, ends up being support as a 50 period simple moving average on the daily. So I do like that little bit of confluence, for lack of a better term, on the dips in Amazon.
We do need to find better terms. But okay, right here, AMZN, there it is. All right, so the sticky note has just been released. So right here on the sticky note, you guys can all go find it. And again, I told you guys, sorry I'm late. With it right there. Over 8,000 of you checked it out yesterday. I appreciate that. Look, Amazon 176. I love that level. Obviously, we've bumped up through there, so then we move down to the next part that we talked about, and it's right there. It's the 180 break. Look, Wall Street loves subscription models, and now Amazon is adding another one. So this is just another story for the great Amazon, honestly. I mean, this stock just continues to work. You've had a huge opportunity to buy some down here if you weren't long already. You're at the 50 period moving average for Amazon. I like the way this stock is gonna base out here into earnings. I almost think that out of all the mega cap tech names, I would choose this one as the one that I think has the most opportunity to beat heading into earnings, and one that you'd want to own into that. Yesterday, I think I asked Chris Varley, Darryl would remember what he said. I think he said Meta. I remember clearly now. I can see clearly now. It was Meta. I'm choosing Amazon, but I really like that break. I think even a break of 180, that's where we are right now, 179. If you break 180, you can give it a buck back down to here. I think this is a decent level. That 180 came into play. Where was it? It's just, I mean, it's not that significant. It's more of like a psychological level, but right into here, we were bouncing off of it there, I guess, last week, and then Friday and Monday and everything happened, and Thursday. And we had some down moves there. That was your opportunity to buy it at the 50 period on the daily. Now you're well above it. I think we take 180 here today. And then after that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we settle up 180, 150, 180, in here somewhere today. So yeah, that'll be a good take. If you buy the 180s, I think you have cover back at 50. You definitely have cover back at 79. So you want to lose $1,000 on this trade, you take 1,000 shares, put your stop there, but that could also make you 3,000 or 4,000. So let's see what happens now on Amazon trying to break above 180, and the best dip by name of the bunch.
A little one moving around here, SPWR, big flush, down 20%. They're going to restate financial results, so that's never a good thing. 210 was the support in the pre-market there. We're down to 165 for SPWR. Yeah, let's touch on GM here again. We looked at it briefly there in the pre-market, but nice report this morning, up actually just taking out the highs right now here for GM.
Yeah, beating on the top and bottom line. It was a beat all around. Earnings, in terms of income earned on the year, up 26% year over year to $2.95 billion. Revenue up 7.6% year over year, about $40 billion. The guidance, excellent here. The company now expects $12.5 to $14.5 billion worth of revenue in the coming quarter. And this was really all precipitated by truck sales in North America. They didn't actually perform that well on the global scale here, Brendo, so we'll have to keep an eye on that going forward.
I saw one of these, or a picture of one of these on the road the other day. Motor Trend's SUV of the year, 2024 Chevy Blazer EV.
I like the Blazer.
I'm nostalgic with those.
Same.
I like the old
Same.
school version, but it's not bad.
Yeah, when I see their strength, it reminds us, when you saw, Sean, you mentioned Ford was up 6%. I think it's up another 2% or so today.
Ooh.
And GM up 6%. And we've talked about what's been going on with the EVs, like that legacy business, certainly still boding well because, well, there's going to be cars that get bought. And if all the people that are going to get EVs have been mostly doing it already, and you have slower adaptation, then, guess who's going to start printing a little bit more money? That said, GM's already at a resistance spot. I have trouble with this one busting through this 46. One of the things I'm not a huge fan of usually, and I have to zoom this out, let's see if we can get a little further back, is you got a top here at 46, but then you go all the way back to 2022 March, and then this 2021 level, that's the 47 level. This thing it gets through 47, and I really think it has a chance to get going, but one step at a time. I think if you're punching 46, you got a little bit of overhead resistance already up this much on GE. Always be careful on earnings day. I don't like extremes, like buying the high here. If you bought a breakout, you're looking to hold back like a buck till support. There are stocks that I'd like doing that with. GM's not one of them on earnings, so I'm probably going to stay away from this. I think if we get above the 47 tomorrow or after, like post earnings as a rally past 47, that'll interest me on GM. But today, let's sit it out. I think if there's any pop up in the EV names off this today, it might give a chance for this Rivian $9 fail that I've been looking for. Again, this stock, every time it's gotten to $9 the last week, it's turned around. Last couple of days, it hasn't quite gotten there. Double bottomed, I think, is a chance that this could make that run at 9, and then we'd look for that 9 fade, 9.10 being the local high on Rivian. So I'm probably likely to trade Rivian on a pop more than GM.
Yeah, I definitely will be trading GM. I don't trade names really on earnings other than these big tech ones, and we'll have to wait to see. I'm looking at a level here, 1320 maybe, which we're already at. I'm looking at Ford, by the way. So Ford, just a $13 name. I feel like there's less room for error on this name for me anyways, like to get a level wrong and to use bigger shares. It's only a $13 name. So if it does fade here off of that GM report, look, these guys report tomorrow. So there's one more day. And that's going to be today. They led the move yesterday, Ford. Huge bottom there at 12 bucks. We actually talked about that. I'm holding this name. People are talking hybrids now. They have the best-selling truck of all time in the United States, the F-150. That continues to sell. We'll hear what Farley and company have to say because this name, I think, takes this out, this 1360, 1350. And then I feel like if we're lucky enough and able to sell some in this area, I mean, this was a name that we've been buying for a very long time. It's at the same levels it was since 2010, I think. We talked about this, might even be further than that. So Ford really needs to get going here. This is its opportunity. Let's see Ford shine. Let's see it come out tomorrow. GM's leading the way right now, so they're off the back. But at the same time, I think Ford's going to have a better report. So let's see, 6% here. If Ford can do something similar, then we'd be at that $15 mark, and we'll go from there. So I like Ford today, and I like it tomorrow into earnings, especially if GM's going to show us the way there. And everybody's switching off of EV names, right? So if people are going to start to love combustion and hybrid and all that again, and the big truck game, the Cybertruck was obviously an epic fail. People always are going to be buying these GM Silverados, the Ford F-150s. There are some loyalty there and some legacy buyers. So, this name seems to be working. I like Ford down here, and I think it's going to be a winner.
All right, let's go to Roblox here. Nice gap to the upside this morning. It is coming in a little bit right now, but it was above 4% on this. Or JP Morgan going to overweight with a $48 price target here. Nice note from JPM this morning.
Yeah, the analyst there, Corey Carpenter at JP Morgan, saying the following: the crux of our bull thesis is that we believe Roblox has a significant monetization opportunity and management's focus on margin leverage, which we expect to result in free cash flow compounding 40% through 2027. So he likes this one, giving it a nice price target upgrade from 41 to 48.
Yeah, if you look at the daily chart, you can see it's maybe time to buy.
We go to the daily chart, like the trend hasn't broken yet, but if we take out 37, that's exactly where it would start. That's a 200-period moving average. You already have a resistance level set in there, and then you've got room to the 50-period at 39. So I think it's pretty much, it's just that simple with it. You want it to break out. I thought I drew this line and kept it. It doesn't really matter. You guys can see that 37 level in here. Technically, that high here is 37.11 or 12. So I think if it gets to 15, 20, looking long Roblox on a breakout. I like the fact that you get a catalyst. I mean, but an upgrade's an upgrade. Is already had found some support, double bottom at 35. So consolidation here and a breakout. The top looks juicy to me. So I put this in the breakout category along with, I didn't really talk about crypto, but I'll just go with the name from yesterday. Very similar looking chart here on Coinbase that I like. Now that we're holding that 65,000 level on BTC, I like this breakout as well. So Roblox, if it doesn't break, I think you got to be patient with dip buying on that stock because it gets a little volatile at the open, but I'm looking for that momentum through the top on Roblox. Thankfully, I don't have to get the bill every single month yet, but I figure it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I got the bill times too. But the one kid has Epic right now, so he's like debating switching. So, okay, so I like Roblox down here. It's underneath the 200-period moving average. I think it's given you now. This has been a name that we've talked about on the podcast for a while. I haven't really been like buying this name. We've talked about just watching out for it. I'm trying to find out when the earnings are. RBLX. I do like the upgrade. It's coming soon, right? May 9th. So May 9th for Roblox earnings. I mean, look, I like this level. So I'm a buyer down here at 35. It's on the sticky note. It's idea. I have 37 break long. So I still think that that's going to happen right there. I put 37.15. It's kind of those wick tops. But a dip buy, I'm already sitting here. So as far as like pending orders are concerned, I'm down here with Roblox, down into this area. JP Morgan can't just come and upgrade it and talk about all the potential, and then this name falls back into yesterday's levels. That doesn't make much sense to me, especially with the market being up. I think Roblox takes off from here. I'm surprised it's dropping to where it is, but you know, the market is the boss, so they'll be able to figure that out. But I'm a buyer. I'm sitting right here at 35.50, yesterday's sort of top there. If we get a drop in by some chance off the open, I do want to have I already have it up, so it's up. It's on my radar. You know what I don't have up? I don't have NVIDIA up. I don't have ARM up. I don't have AMD up. All right, I have different names on my mind today, and one of them is Roblox. And then hopefully that results in money on my mind and not out of my pocket, because that would make the subscription even more expensive. But I'm a buyer of Roblox, and I'm probably a buyer in my long-term account after the show.
All right, we'll wrap it up at that. What we got coming up this morning on the Midday?
We're talking about bull flag trading all week, Brendo. Today we're going to talk about the pullback entry, buying on a discount in a bull flag setup. Make sure to catch that with Adara and I today on How to Trade at 11.
Good look there. And again, you know, just give you some ideas for trading setups, right? We had some bull flag breaks yesterday on NVIDIA. That was a good one, but that's a very specific breakout trade that I like on NVIDIA. Just to go over some chip names.
Yeah,
it's the dip and rip. This has worked for the last month. This has been very, very consistent in terms of it tries to break support at the bottom, ends up holding. and then you get that nice like ramp back into the upside for a potential break of trade, break of a consolidation at the open, and it did so very, very early. It actually gave you a move later if you wanted to take that one, but it's right off of that open. Let me go actually to a 3-minute chart to give you the better look. There's your dip. It holds 775. It then took that breakout for about $8. I wrote it off after that point because it flushed so far, and you got a nice move up. If we could see 825 today, that's a resistance level. If ARM sees 100 today, that's the level that I'd be waiting for. Like, you're getting a relief rally in the chips, and I think you want to be pretty particular. It fell apart at 100, and then 103 was the other level up there. Affirm looks like it's trying to pop, so I just got that one in front of the 30 level. The news with Affirm, a little bit more competition, and then Affirm is Affirm. But as far as the chips go, ARM in that $100 level, I feel if you come back in there, test the 100, you had a top of 103 that was actually the better price to have been short, and then look for a retracement back into said 100 level. It's a bit quiet on the chips until Intel reports on Thursday. So, we do have them on the radar. Apple, we still like that short the pop, and we're talking about Tesla on earnings. They did a bit of a move to the upside here, Tesla going in. We haven't pulled up the imbalance locator yet, but I doubt there's going to be imbalance. But Tesla making a run maybe at that 145 again. So it was a big dip in front of 145 yesterday. If it tries to get through that again today, I'd still be looking for some phase. I just feel like if there's a pop in Tesla, this time Rivian's going to come into that $9 level. It got so close. I think we get that short in there today.
All right, with only a couple minutes to go here, let's check out what just came through with the imbalances. Right now we have Lucid with a sell. That should surprise nobody. Palantir with a buy should also surprise nobody. And we'll like to see if Palantir can get near $20. I still like that $22 fade on PLTR. We sort of talked a little bit about that the last couple days. I'd like to see us get over this level before we're buyers again of Palantir. Otherwise, we're buyers down here if it can get into the 200 period moving average. So this is a name that we're waiting to buy dips on as well. But that $22 area, something to watch. So we'll see if it can get up to that. I would fade that. And this wasn't really on my radar until I'm just seeing it now. But again, this is why we say stay with the trades. Understand the names that you trade well. At the end of the day, this is a P&L game. You look down, you see what you're doing well on, and you go for it. Other than that, there's Ford. We talked about that as being a possible buy. I'm still pretty bearish. I'm not, until this market gets to 17.5, I am still going to be looking for some shorts. I bit with the bid, which you can see down here. We didn't talk crypto today, although we did yesterday, as we didn't move too much between 65.5 and 66.5, 66.8. You're hovering kind of in the middle there at 6.1 right now. There's our friend Roblox with the buy as well. So as we continue to watch out for this imbalance, not bad. 36.25. Again, I'm bidding down here 35.50-ish. And then good morning, GM, as that is a nice bid and moving up the rankings here for General Motors. So, yeah, a couple names I won't trade there, but Apple, Amazon. Oh, the other name that I looked at here today that I didn't get a chance to look at, well, not Baba, we're long Baba, we like Baba, but that was going to be Boeing. So Boeing. Tomorrow has earnings. So I've been looking at this name, and this is going to be a risky spot, but you know what I thought? Look, we're down so much right here. Just like I said, I think Tesla could be up tomorrow. Boeing off this 168. If we get a chance today to buy something down here, I almost think this is worth a shot, depending on what the market winds up doing. If the market's absolutely cratering, hopefully I'll be short and I won't be looking to pick up longs. But if Boeing can hang around and in around 168, 168.50, something like that, I kind of like that. So we'll wait to see what happens there with Boeing. But that's my eyes right now. Apple, Amazon, Roblox, Tesla. I wrote it down, but into earnings, I feel like there's too much misunderstanding of what's going to happen, or uncertainty, not misunderstanding, uncertainty. As you know, that two of us think higher, two of us think lower tomorrow. So I don't know what you guys think. I didn't even see what the poll's at right now. But for Tesla, I do watch out for this 140 again. So take attention to that. The 52-week low of Tesla is 139. I would rather let it break 140 and then take the 139 short like we did yesterday when we had a major level break. Right here, 140, bang to the downside $1. So those are the levels that I'm looking at right now, and pretty excited to trade today once again.
Absolutely, and just one I want to get to, Affirm testing that 30.50 level. We might not trade this GL. But remember, Global Life had the short seller report and got destroyed. They actually reported decent earnings. And I would watch out for, if this breaks the 70 level, it's a recovery. I do think it has some juice if it can get past there. It's not, I came in thinking if it had volume, I would put an order for a breakout. And the volume is a little bit disappointing. I thought there'd be a little bit more activity there, given the fact that that short seller report was downside, and then they made the recovery, then they had decent earnings. But I'll have a watch on this for the $70 level. I think it can be in play. We did not talk about, we talked about most of these big names out there, but we didn't mention Alphabet. That's the only other Mag 7 name that's going to be on the radar. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're always on the radar, let's be real. But let's get that countdown going. Google was the strongest one yesterday, and I do like a potential buy above that price level at yesterday's high, but I don't want to take it too early. Let's get into it. Oh, ring it right now. We're already open.
Yeah, we're going right
he's
now.
slow.
We're going right now. Okay, so Apple not doing much here. We want the short, but again, it's already starting without us. What a surprise there. As here comes the market, not doing much. Okay, 165 just held. So we'll keep that in mind. We are going to wait for a little bit of a pop on that one. Let's check the temperature of Amazon here to see what that's doing. We do have a, I mean, maybe we could take a 179 break. That actually might seem okay. We'll look for a 179 break possibly here on Amazon as the market tries to figure itself out. And right now, we're trying to bounce. So that's a nice move. Nice move right now, 178. But here we come, coming right back in right now for Amazon. Possible buy zone. I was still waiting for 176. Let's try to be patient as here comes the market downside.
Yeah, the market's coming down. Affirm flew up, so instantly it stopped out. I haven't gotten Apple just yet, but a big move to the upside on Affirm. Roblox, absolutely nothing. Wow. Intel also, not Intel, I mean NVIDIA. NVIDIA just cracked. Okay, so here we go. NVIDIA's doing that same setup again, where it's attempting to take out the pre-market low. Sorry about the wicks, guys. I got a bunch of them today. Trying to take out the pre-market low, just bounced off 805, and then looking for a rally. It would be about 810 that sets up that breakout, but it still hasn't done enough for a run to the bottom for me to get involved in it just yet. So I'm probably not going to take the break. I don't think that was the same setup as we had before. Even if this 810 breaks, it's not the same thing that we had previously. Going on over to Tesla, that's only heading down. 145 not going to be in play. We like Tesla. We definitely liked Amazon, but we're not going to get that one. And then ARM was the other at $100. ARM goes to 97.5 and starting to curl.
Boom.
So got to be a little bit patient with ARM.
Here we go, guys. 2 for 2 to start the day. Amazon right now, 25 cents. We just took that. We're going higher on this one. Let's go, baby. It's Amazon. It's rocking. We also have Apple to the short side. We want this Amazon trade. Let's see how far this name could go. And let's not just get too much out here. But we'll put another offer in and around 60. We're long at one. Oops, that's Apple still. We're long at 178 flat. No, 178.14. As here we go for Amazon. I'm just going to give it to this bottom. Of 177.80 there. So if we break that, we'll get out of Amazon. But right there, we take a little bit of profit. We're short and long here, so this is a little bit of a problem. But we're long the right name, and I think like we're short the right name. These are the two ideas that we've had on today. Apple short, Amazon long, and I'm in both of them. So let's just see what cooks here. Could be nothing, could be something. Amazon with this little bit of a pullback. Now that I see that price, that's not 79, that's 69. I got to change this price to get out. But here comes Amazon back in. We just get a little bit more long there. 177, breaking below that level that I just talked about. 177.80. No, sorry, I just almost did it again. 177.70 is the out there for Amazon. So, all right, we'll take this. We're long at 10s now. If this drops a little bit more, fine. We are trying to be net bearish today, but this long I didn't mind. We did write down 176. So let's take a little early shot here with Amazon and see if it cooks. But otherwise, it's Amazon long, Apple short right now.
Yeah, and Roblox is 15 cents away from the 37 level. That looks like it might come in for the breakout. Same thing happening over on Coin. I mean, Coinbase is real close to that 228 break. So again, with a breakout trade, you know, if it doesn't go, you don't get it. It's pretty simple when it comes to that. Rivian does give a shot with this market moving up. Okay, Coin just went. I was about to tell you that Rivian has a shot here to make its breakout, and then Coin popped in. Sorry, guys. I was on Roblox level 2, thinking that might come first. But there's Coinbase to 228. I just got 229.25. So let's see if we can get the 230 level on this break for Coinbase. Again, Bitcoin has been holding the 65,000 level, and we had the halving event already. I want to be able to give this back into the 27. The dip buys, to me, aren't until 225, so it's got to be two separate trades here, the breakout and the potential dip buy. I think we got to separate them because the range is too big up here on Coinbase. So the other one was going to be Roblox. We there yet? Are we there yet? We're not there yet.
Not there yet.
Not yet on Roblox.
We're falling
It
down.
just went from 36.90 and pulling right back in. So I guess we're not going to get that breakout just yet. Apple, I don't have any short opportunities yet on Apple. It hasn't really popped to get me in there. Pre-market highs maybe. I know Intel is a name I like for the short if we short pops, but I mean, Intel does this every single day, I feel like. If you're not sitting in it at the open, you kind of have to wait for it to come back up into resistance. So I'll go back to that because once again, it is weaker than the rest.
Here we go. So we'll slap the flush, the fail, all of that because Amazon was horrible. Like if I just go short, then we have a completely different story on our hands. But we didn't. We went long. So now we're down here to 177. Now the patience game is what we're going to try to rest on here. So let's try to see if we did wait for this move down. We still had written down here 176. So in that spirit, I don't necessarily want to be loading up to anything right now, but we will take a little heavier of a starter position, but still a starter position. As I was waiting for a little bit lower, I was at 177.05. It came to tens there. I knew I missed the fives, so I punched a little bit in there, hoping that we would get the fives, but we didn't. So I'm still holding out hope that name comes back in for us. So this one, I don't know, man, sound the alarm. This is not going the way that I thought it would. That, of course, is Amazon down here at 177, and I thought it would be a little better than that. Apple right now. Okay, here we go. So we just shorted Apple. We like this name. We're short here at 50. I think there's a good chance for this to work to the downside. The market's still trying to figure it out. We did some longer looks yesterday at the market up here at 17.5. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to wait out to see if the market can bump there. Then I would get more aggressively short. But for right now, it's 936, and we're pretty happy with our current positions, including a real nice battle back on Amazon. Let's take a piece out here at 47, make back 40 cents if we can, and then we'll still be red on it. I'll tell you when we get green, but for right now, this has to drop into 177 to get more long. And then I'll really wait for that 176 and try to be patient down by 176. I think that's the key. Short on Apple and over to Adara.
This part of the show brought to you by VinFast. VinFast is driving the future today. In just the first quarter of 2024, they've surged their revenue by over 269% to $302.6 million and increased vehicle deliveries by an astounding 444%. Their global expansion is unstoppable, with new launches across Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and a groundbreaking new facility in India.
You know what?
Thanks, Dara. Coinbase is not really
Canceling.
like it's held the breakout, but you see how it's not really running there. I'm looking over. Bitcoin's been flat off of the 66,000 level. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it gave the dollar plus, and then it looks like it might not hold on to VWAP. I'm just going to be out of this and patient with the dip buy. You're not getting the volatility that I was expecting, and you're not getting it either in NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still inside day. Oh, I got a bad wick here. This high, you got like 813 that's now setting up. So now I think it's run the bottom. Like I said, be patient with it. Don't take that latest break, but now you've got a bit of a run at the bottom. It's held 800 a couple of times there, and that's 813 at the top. That would set for that breakout trade. I think that takes you to like the 20 level. But it's got a break. No break, no trade. Roblox, nothing burger, no breakout on Roblox either, so we're going to have to be patient with Roblox. I thought we'd get something there. And then, like I said, Coinbase. Coinbase couldn't hold. I got out before it got to VWAP, so we get the buck, lose just over a buck. Disappointing trade for coin. I thought that one could really, really rally, but this market, sideways action, I think the patience game is going to play here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We just had about 20 cents in the money on a decent size of Apple, but I still think lower, so we're going to wait for that. I am bidding. Oh, well, we already got a bid at 165, but I was just bidding right here, 165 and change. So let's see if by any chance we could get that out. For Apple, my most aggressive bid is 165.30. So we still need a ways to go to come down on that one. That would be nice if you could do that, Apple. All right, and then there's Amazon. We didn't load up I did not load the boat there on this trade. So I canceled, you might have heard me say that, I canceled some of my, if you're in at 05 or whatever you want, you can get out now or whenever, but I didn't put on a big piece there. I'm still gonna be patient and wait for sort of what I thought I would wanna wait for, and that was, of course, that bottom pick of 176. So I am bidding down in around 176.50 for a couple shares, and then we'll deal with it if it gets down to there. But hopefully if we can get down there, Apple will go. But Apple's not going right now. You mentioned Roblox. I'll just want to check the temperature of that name. Oh, nothing. Well, it's actually pulling down pretty good. I have some bids down here, so we'll see if Roblox can fill me up near that 35.50. This is kind of like what we wanted to do. But yeah, that is a decent fill down. Okay, let's let this, if this can come to 35.50, we'll take it. But either way, you're kind of at this 200 period moving average. Might be worth something, but I don't want to put on too much risk now into Roblox, so we'll wait to see, because we're already kind of off kilter here as Apple continues to go higher. And I've actually liked this short. So this is a name here that I think we have to consider loading into a little bit more. I put down 166, but again, my out, if we're wrong on this, and we could be wrong early, we were wrong early on the Amazon trade. This one here, we're looking to get a little bit more into Apple, not until we get up to 166, because that's what we like. And then my out's gonna be in and around here, like 166.20 or so. So let's wait to see if Apple breaks above that level in order for us to finally get out. So yeah, we're hovering, we're okay. Apple right now, trying to get a little more short up here now.
Yeah, I'm looking at Rivian maybe for the $9, but again, you're just not getting the print. It's not pushing up to that price. NVIDIA for that break, still nothing doing. It's actually putting in lower highs as we speak. So you're getting a trend down. I looked at ARM over here, like maybe we'd see something there. Oh, Intel just popped in, so that must have come up.
Oh, that's good.
But ARM, we talked about the 100 level. That's putting in lower highs as well. So I still think you're not really setting much up here. So we'll be patient with it. There's really nothing else to do. Intel coming back into the pre-market high, so every now and then you kind of go back to what I like to call Old Faithfuls, the same thing it did yesterday, which is stay in the inside range, threaten the bottom, and then short the pop back into the pre-market high. That's exact same setup that we're looking for yesterday. It wasn't the first place I thought we'd be going, but it's the place that we're at right now. So NVIDIA is still trying to make that breakout. Nothing happening there. Spotify, we did set up. Look, it's a super strong name. I said I wouldn't be sitting on the bid at the open, but if it sells itself down, there might be a trade. No stink bids. It's holding up pretty strongly. Maybe a look at VWAP if this is going to trend to the upside. Again, let's see it test VWAP and then worry about it. So all we got to Intel. Coinbase was a disappointing breakout trade. If you took it all for the $1.50, I think you'd be happy with it. But it's starting to hold VWAP in here. So I think this can be a nice setup for like the stair steps up, like hold VWAP. Now we'll try going for the dip buys on Coinbase. Still that 30 level, 230 level that comes into play next.
All right, yeah, we're finally rocking here a little bit with Amazon. So as this market is blasting to the high side, we sort of said that we kind of had a little bit of a hedge on here. We do have more shares as we continue to talk about Apple versus Amazon here, as those are my two ideas. But Amazon's starting to go a little bit. We'll take a piece out right there. And we're still hovering for Apple. So I don't want to like necessarily throw in the proverbial towel here or anything. But yeah, this one is a little nerve-wracking here for Apple as the market continues to extend higher. I just took a fill at 87. I'm going to back away from 166 and wait for like that 166.30 to get a little bit more at that time, because Apple and the market definitely taking off, but it's just doing what we thought it would do, guys. And I mean, not what we thought it would do, a level that we think would be of interest, and that is this 17.5. So you're coming up to that here. Again, something we wrote down in the sticky note, something we talked about waiting for. So now we're coming up to that 17.5. Hopefully we get a fade off of here. And if we do, we should be huge on Apple. And if we're not, then we just have the wrong stock, which apparently we might just have that wrong stock. Apple right now flat, market up 0.7. I like the short, so I'm going to sit in it. We've just taken 40, what was it, 170 we got out at? 40s, 35s there. So we get out of 35s there on Amazon. Hopefully that market can continue to rip up. I like the delivery business. We talked about subscription models. So yeah, I am just trying to figure this out, and this whole game will eventually move at some point. Good call on Roblox. I like that level.
Where is it now?
Yeah, it's up 36.30. It was just at 35.70. I almost pulled the trigger there. I was waiting at 35.50. We talked about that in the pre-market. So a little shy on the price for Roblox. Maybe we'll consider this 35.90 area for a long again. But I want this to settle down first. Like, I'm not done yet with today. I mean, it's 9:44. But I think Apple comes down here. We have a decent bet on this right now. So let's see. We don't have the full boat because we didn't take that 166, but let's just see what happens. We may test that again up there and we may add some more, but I like this short right here on Apple. We're short at 165.60 into the pre-market highs on a rallying market. I like that. I'm hearing something about
a Boeing Spirit.
Yeah, Boeing wants to purchase Spirit. It's about time. I think that's something that they need to do immediately. So we'll see what happens here with Spirit and Boeing starting to get going. And come on, Apple. I'm bidding something at 165.50. If this can go, everybody, then yeah, man, that's good. And we're really happy with this trade so far. So far, so good here. Let's see what we can do with Apple. But there it goes, right back again. We do have a manufacturing PMI out now as well.
Yeah, manufacturing PMI, are we going to?
We can if they want.
You guys let us know if you want us to, but very quickly, Intel, I got to fill down at 34.40, and now it's going to test pre-market high. Reloading pre-market highs there as we go to Adara.
So these numbers coming in lower than expected here. S&P Global Composite PMI flash 50.9 versus the expected of 52.2. Global Manufacturing PMI flash 49.9 versus 52 expected, 50.9 versus 51.8 expected for Global Services PMI flash. So all these numbers a little bit lower than the forecast or the consensus here. SPY getting a nice move to the upside though off of those numbers here, guys.
So there you go. So you finally get that.
Short Apple.
Yeah, yeah, it's ripping, man. So is Amazon. So right now we have, where's my Apple trade? It's supposed to be at, oh, no, I got canceled. I'm supposed to be getting this short as well. Hey, what's up? Thank you so much, man. That coffee's going to come in mighty handy.
I have a lot.
I'll take the red one. All right.
I'll take the green one
Thanks,
because
Randy.
I guess.
Okay, so right now we did get a piece out there on Amazon as that ripped higher. Finally, you get a cooled off PMI number. So that's going to help the market because the market needs bad numbers. Okay, like otherwise, the Fed is just going to keep rolling out and saying yada yada yada, higher for longer. The rates are completely fine. Yields going higher. The dollar, these tech names. So I'm, still not happy with that bump up because we're short, but to me, I mean, that's not a good number for the short. So watch out for possible break higher here on Apple. We were in the money, like Apple, right before that number, but whatever. I can't predict what numbers are going to do. But look at that. We were right there, 165.60. That was our level. We were breaking the 200 period. We were going to crack right there on Apple, but we didn't. So we're all good, baby. We'll take a couple more shares here and wait to see what happens with the beloved. I was going to say, phone, but I guess they're much more into phone.
iPhone maker.
Right now. Yeah, iPhone. Yeah, I guess they're the ones that make the iPhones.
So I'd say disappointing breakout on NVIDIA, but I got short into Apple in that move there. So I've got this at 66.20. But NVIDIA did break that 13. The wicks on the charts, so this move got up to about 8.4, just underneath 8.14. I was able to take some profit, and then it came back in and then failed the breakout. So I did get out of that trade. Don't want to give, the way I look at it, like yesterday was a good one that I even mucked up a little bit, but we're going to give half of that back for that breakout strategy on NVIDIA. If you took it all out for the buck, congratulations. That's not the way I was going to go. I'm short Apple now, so it is getting into the pre-market high. I like 167 on this thing. And that's where we got to yesterday when this dumped off. I think part of the reason I'm bearish on Apple is because it looked so good until it got to that 167. So we are short into Apple as now it's starting to go. Now NVIDIA is going to start to go. So I got to watch out also for Intel here because we are short Intel. I got one fill off VWAP and now it's trying to run at that pre-market high. Let's go to Adara.
NIVF trying to run for its second day in a row here. New Gen IVF is the name of the company, 3.69 million share float. Yesterday, they announced that they've signed a non-binding term sheet agreement for a potential reverse merger with European Wellness Investment Holdings. So day two move here for NIVF, already up about 40%, guys.
All right, there is no doubt about it, Sharif, because we do have a move upside right now in Apple, but you should be going down Potentially not. All right, 166.50. We've talked about the levels that we are looking at. There's only so much we're going to be able to do on this name. I didn't think Apple would do this. This is reminding me of yesterday where Tesla kind of went all the way to the upside and then we wound up losing way too much. That's not what's going to happen right now with Apple. We could be wrong on this name, which we clearly are. We had one out so far, and it was the low of the day. But, I mean, all these shorts. Look at, everybody needs to understand that although we don't show our share size, it clearly shows the average price that we have right now. So this right here is 25 cents out of the money on Apple. Okay, like it's time to breathe. Like these are not trades that, like if I'm gonna get hit on Apple and I lose 60 cents on this, like with slippage and where it's probably gonna go, that has to be baked in to your trade plan. You know, because if you're not going to sit here and just be like, oh, it broke, 10 cents, I'm out. You know, if that's your trade plan, that's cool, but just make sure you have that defined. So I'm doing that right now, and I do have some bids here in the teens to get some out in case we run that level. You know, like we could fall back in. Like we've already broken higher. This level right here is making me nervous now because now you're above 166. So that was not part of the plan. We had written down 166 short. So like when the plan says 166 short and I'm short 166, I got to say that we are pretty much according to plan right now. Obviously, we would like this name lower, but if it rips up, and we get stopped out. You know, this is still a trophy month. We're still super happy with it. Will we give some back every day if we keep on doing this? Yeah. Could you turn your month red? Yeah. Not on this trade, but generally, yeah, you could. But as long as you're following the rules that you've had down there, sure, there's always going to be time to bake them. You know, look at them, figure out what's wrong, you know, add some different ingredients, sprinkle on a little, you know, sugar on top. But at the end of the day, you got to trust what's got you here. What got you to the dance? You know, and that's what we're doing right now. And speak of that, Big Patty Ice over there. You know what got the Maple Leafs to the dance? Big AM right there, baby. Number 34. The guy had his best game as a Maple Leaf yesterday, period. Okay? So right there, that should tell you that if you are him, Austin, you stay in your lane. You don't pass to Bertuzzi. You take that shot, you damn sniper, you. That's great. 69 goals. Should have had 70. Next time, Keefe, let's go. Keep that guy on. Only 2 empty net goals, right? McDavid had 7. Crosby had 7 empty net goals. The guy had 50.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how good Austin Matthews is. He had 50 regular strength goals.
Scoring on power play is one thing, but like he's an amazing player. There's no question about it. The shorts are going to be under pressure.
Shout out to
here.
sports podcasts.
I finally got Rivian. We're going to be short that. I just paid for locates on Virgin Galactic because it doesn't want to be a penny stock anymore. And if Virgin Galactic doesn't want to be a penny stock anymore, it's going to have to get through $1. And if it's going to get to $1, then I'm going to try to short it at that $1 level. So that's the plan I'm going to make. I still have Apple, Intel, and Rivian. The new one was Rivian at $8.90. I got $8.96 into that $9 level, but Virgin Galactic's up 16%, and it's going to make a run. NVIDIA was a good out. So it's a good thing we took that one out. At the end of the day, it's going to pull back and hold VWAP, so it doesn't give you that clean breakout trade, but it's still stair-stepping to the upside. So you're getting that relief rally still going in the chips. As I said, newest position is going to be in Rivian. 9.10 is the local high. $9.10. That comes from last week. So it popped $9. It's broken 9 twice. So this is not I'm stopping out at $9. It has to break that local high from last week at $9.10. Intel's the one that's already starting to pull back. So resisting yesterday's highs, pulling back into VWAP, which has moved a little bit. So I'm just going to get out in front of VWAP and take some profit on Intel. Rest of the chip names, trying to break it out right now. Haven't even looked at AMD, but at least NVIDIA is trying to.
Yeah. Okay. Amazon is really crushing my hopes and dreams because as Apple comes back in, and I spent this whole time talking about Apple, I actually forgot about Amazon. So we actually got some good outs up there. As we were talking, we were able to get some of these outs. As Apple ripped up, we talked about shorting Apple, blah, 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 but we were able to get some decent outs there for Amazon. We just took a 20 fill, out 30s, because I was like, I got to get some out here in case this market falls down. We have been dead wrong on
Tesla's
Amazon
flying.
today. I thought Tesla's flying. Wow. There you go. I mean, Sharif, big ups to you, man. We talked about that one. All right, let's see what happens here. 176 bottom for Amazon, just wicked. So let's just, more job cuts from Tesla or something. There's a headline for Tesla. Where's Miss A? Is she over there? Yes, look out for Tesla, please, Adara. All right, so she's looking right now as Tesla's flying right now. And so is Amazon, man. We back, baby. Let's go, Amazon. We've got this position on. It's been dead wrong and dead red today for Amazon, as I thought, hey, I even wrote down on here, man, more subscriptions, show me the money, but it's taking money away from me right now. So we had a package delivered yesterday. All right, let's go.
Every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If I come home and there isn't a package from Amazon, then I'm like, did somebody steal something?
Yeah, you think there's some
because
pirates up in
seriously, we like literally every single day we get something. It's mostly my wife, but it's what it is. What was I gonna say? It was Palantir. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Palantir's up 5%. Just some quick work there. I'm still in the same 3 positions, and Virgin Galactic is what? Oh, I didn't do the goddamn confirmation. I always do this, where I don't say accept in the second time for the pay for shorts. I do want to get it. It's not at the dollar yet. Palantir is about to get to the 22 level. If it gets here, I'm expecting pullback, but this could be a dip and rip situation. I don't want to put anything new on when we got 3 things to resolve. Apple trying to push into that 177. Intel, we got some VWAP, and that's going to try to push through yesterday's highs. If it breaks that, we just get out through 60. Rivian, which we have at that $9 level, is trying to break through this 910. So if they break out, you got to dump. So I will be dumping all of those. NVIDIA still hasn't been able to climb through that 813. I think there's a lot of room to 825, but the breakouts, every time it gets up there, like you're seeing that reversal. It doesn't feel like it's a breakout trade on NVIDIA. If anything, there's resistance in front of $815 on that one. So I got to be patient and careful with it. I'm now going to go ahead and get that Virgin Galactic for real, those locates, which are 1/8 of 1 cent per share.
Yeah, mighty expensive, those ones there. Yeah, okay, so, frustration mounts, because as Amazon continues to rip higher, we once again absolutely sticky note nation that one, and it's just more frustrating to me because we were just too short too early, or too long too early, and lost, so we're just making back what we lost. So again, if we were more patient, we talk about all of this, we probably would have we would have been in a little bit of a different spot, but someone that's in the spot that we need right now over at the desk is Adara.
This Tesla news was actually originally reported about an hour ago, but now these headlines circulating here. Tesla looking to cut about 400 jobs in Germany via a voluntary program, as reported here by Reuters, a part of this ongoing layoff news with Tesla. Last week it was announced that they already did reduce some jobs in Germany, but those were more temporary positions. So 400 job cuts via a voluntary program in Germany for TSLA, up almost 2%, guys.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, that was part of the surprise, that like why I was thinking that Tesla tomorrow could be greater or higher than 142, like we said. It's just, you never know what Elon's going to talk about or the story here. We have a 9% expected move into tomorrow. That's regardless of what happens now. That's at, the move is supposed to be 9%. So although this move is looking awfully like 9%, it's not. It's just 2% straight to the upside. We were close to red or flat when we opened here today on Tesla. So yesterday we closed, so pretty much, well, I guess we were down 50 cents, but still a nice move back up. We're ripping it on Amazon. Amazon is going to be your damn trade of the day. Shout out to the Obi if he's back there. But we wrote down 176 here on Amazon. Like, I mean, this is, if you're part of this, you're part of this. If not, cool. But there it is right here, Amazon, 176 long. That's it. So, we have that one. It's now 90 cents, 80 cents in the money and dancing around. The other name that we have written on here, which I'm still down with you, Apple.
It's not moving anymore. Really.
We're still connected. This is the short that we like here with Apple. We are loaded up and we are short now at 20. But we have taken some hits on this, as you guys have noted, because we were short, remember, at 166.04. I feel like that's important to note because our software, and it's done because of real trading. For the show's purposes, it would be better if we had stuck into an average price, but unfortunately, it just shows you what it is. We're about to go green on the day right now, by the way. So you want to talk about making some money back right now. Let's slap it up. There's your first Dollar Club winner right there with Amazon off that jump. And then, guys, if Apple falls right now, ooh-wee, wow, we be cooking. So shout out to the Steelers fans because you're going to get Russell Wilson cooking, and shout out to everybody here at Trader TV Live because if this 166 goes, man, it is time to light up that barbecue and let's see what happens here. Or we'll get roasted.
Barbecue.
But we're starting to get
Russell Wilson will be more like a hibachi.
yeah, he could be. He's an old hibachis are nice. Actually, shout out to hibachis. I like.
Yeah, but it's not the same as that. I like a Weber. It's not a barbecue. Like.
Hey man, if Russell Wilson performs like a hibachi, then I think the Steelers fans will be really happy with that.
They just need him not to be a campfire like Mitchell. What's his name was? What was the guy's name?
By the way, I like
Kenny Pickett.
I like cooking with coals.
No, I'm not disparaging that. I'm just simply saying Russell Wilson's no longer, he's not a difference-making player anymore.
Right.
He's had a great career, and he went to the Super Bowl and all that good stuff, and they should have run the ball, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So still in the same three, but Roblox is about to break out the high of the day. So that break, like Roblox is about to go. So as we go to happening now, Roblox, that break could happen as we're happening now. Could happen.
Just waiting on these new home sales numbers, but we already have Richmond Fed manufacturing in -7 versus consensus of -7 and -8 for the manufacturing index. Manufacturing shipments index also slightly lower than expected here, -10 versus -11. Or sorry, slightly higher than expected. Richmond Fed services index coming in lower than expected, -13 versus -5. So that's the look here for Richmond Fed. Then we have new home sales, 693,000 versus the forecast and consensus of roughly 668, so a little bit higher than expected here for new home sales. New home sales month over month rising 8.8% versus the forecast of 2.7%, so higher across the board here for new home sales. Market not reacting too much to that. We did have that nice move up earlier on those S&P flash numbers, so some economic data definitely on watch today, but the main theme of this week is going to be earnings. Lots of earnings names to keep an eye on. Roblox here, not up on earnings, but up almost 7% here after getting an upgrade from JP Morgan and a price target increase all the way up to 48. So nice look here for RBLX. We also, speaking of earnings, have Tesla here up over 2% ahead of its earnings tonight. Also, the market just reacting here to this news from earlier this morning that Tesla is looking to cut 400 jobs in Germany as part of its overall layoff plan. So TSLA definitely on watch today and this week, guys.
All right.
Yeah, Roblox with that break. I got lucky 13 long here, looking for that 37.5 to come into play. Apple's starting to come back into the downside.
This is a good one.
Still an inside day on NVIDIA, but we'll get back to that one. Come on, Roblox, get up there. I want this to break that 30 level. It's obviously, you can see there's not a red candle in 20 minutes or so on this, so I do like that breakout play. And if we zoom out, which we should always do, I think you have room at least into 37.70, and then the next resistance at 38.5. So plenty of room to the upside on RBLX. And if it dips into VWAP, I think we like that as well. Tesla's through 145, and Rivian hasn't broken yet. Okay, I guess that's not bad. But Roblox is a new position for me.
Yeah, I already got some out there. So my Roblox take, I got long at 19s. I took about 35% out there at 29s as we ripped up. You see our 20, maybe it was a 29 and a 28 or a 28 and a 30 because I have too many shares. So we took some out right there. Let's see what happens now with Roblox. I told you what would happen right now. Get those damn hibachis out because here comes Apple, hopefully cooking to the downside. So let's go. We're starting to put some bids out right now, and let's see if this can cook to that downside. The only bids we got out there was basically flats. 160, so we got 7s or 8s, then we got 3s or 4s there, and now I'm bidding 95ers. And then we'll go even a little bit lower than that here into like 85, 86, and then we'll see what's going on with that. Amazon still trying to cook, but we already got some out on that one, as that was a nice trade from 176 all the way up. Let's see if it can continue its move as well. I'm going to take out one more piece. You know what? The thing is, like I said, man, I'm playing with shares here. So I'm going to take out some more of Apple right now. Apple's been a losing trade because remember our offer was 166.04. That was our average price. So any out that you're seeing me get above here are not winning trades. So I'm just happy that we've pulled back in, to be honest with you, on Apple right now. Here we go. All right, we are now, okay, Roblox is starting to go right now. Like I said, man, we have a little bit, we don't have too many shares or else I wouldn't be in them, but we have a decent amount of shares here where we can get Roblox going, and that would be nice if it does go up. Thank you, JP Morgan. I like the upgrade, and let's go hear what Adara has to say.
This part of the show brought to you by Kalshi. Have you ever wanted to trade on events that directly relate to companies and the economy? Kalshi is the first legal financial exchange in the US where you can bet on any event. Ever wondered if TikTok will be banned, how many cars Tesla will ship this quarter, or what a new movie's Rotten Tomatoes score will be? Now you can use Kalshi to put your predictions to the test and trade on what you really know. Visit kalshi.com/tradertv to sign up today and grab a $20 bonus after depositing $50 exclusively for the first 500 people using promo code TraderTV. It's easy to get started. Choose an event, like whether Boeing will have a new CEO this year, currently priced at 76%. Buy 100 shares at 76 cents each, and if Boeing has announced a new CEO by year end, you cash out $100 on your $76 bet. Don't just watch the news, profit from it. Join Kalshi's 100,000 users and dive into diverse markets, make your moves, and potentially profit from global events. Kalshi.com.
Okay.
So quickly here, Apple is going to have an event on May 7th.
This is bad. I'm getting out.
But I'm not reloading Apple as I just heard that news. But I took the first out at 1-1 Roblox. If we're giving it to here, we'll take some out in front of that 50 level. But Apple, as mentioned, May 7th, just in my ear that they're going to have an event. Sorry about that wick there, guys. This local high is 166.5. So I do not want to try to get in again. I was already filled when that happened. I got one out here underneath 166 even, and everything has been bouncing to the upside. So we got like 30 cents, and now it's starting to go back against us. Rivian's looking okay. Intel is trying to curl back under VWAP. It could not take out yesterday's highs. That's a good sign because the market is, and Intel isn't. That's kind of what you want if you are short. The only position I have long is Roblox. And I don't wonder if we shouldn't have something else. And the answer usually is yes, when that's what's trending. Alphabet, we tried to quickly mention to you guys right before the open. It's attempting to bounce off that 157 from yesterday. So a higher low off VWAP. This holds VWAP. I'm going to be looking for that long. But Roblox is going to the upside, and the market is following along with it.
Guys, look at these ideas that we wrote down with the levels, right? Roblox, break out through 37, take the long, break the long right there. Apple, I'm getting out of Apple. Of course, the day that this is just about to cook to the downside, we get that news that they're dropping their event now in May.
It was supposed to be
June.
Yeah.
So this is, if that's WWDC, Adara's going to find out more about that, but its own silicon, developing its own silicon for AI servers is Apple right now. So, I mean, here's a story from Benzinga. So unfortunately, Tim, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with these kind of moves as we go. But at the same time, you did kind of screw up my trade. But from the long-term perspective, let's get this AI thing rolling. You'll notice sometimes, and we'll sometimes talk about this, but like for me here, we took a decent amount of shares. So for scalping purposes, like this is why you got to trade your own books, right? We always talk about that. We don't show share size. So for me, if this were to fall back down just a little bit, it would have been too big of a hit. So when it goes up just 10 cents in the money, I did take some out. And I'm learning, right? We'll get a little bit better and a little bit more aggressive on being able to hold some of these trades for a little bit longer. But hey, man, a dub is a dub. And when you're putting them on the board, it's quite obvious. So we just take that out right there at 37.48. I want to thank everybody for the continued support on the show. All right, so hit the like. And on that note, hit the like and the subscribe. I have this little thing going on there. Don't forget. And another don't forget, like and subscribe right there because we in the building one more time. And here we go. This name is your money trade of the day. This is $1.60. from that 176 bottom. So there it is. We'll ring it out more, and that is Amazon. Amazon, what a monster move, man. Our trade, basically, Apple is the trade of the day. It was the #1 listed stock on my imbalance locator, on my sticky note.
It was top of my list too for the short, but I just got stopped out after that news.
Yep, yeah, exactly. So we were actually smart enough to get out, in my opinion, anyways. Like, we didn't hold this thing all the way up.
I think it's good if you come out early. Like, what you're
that's Amazon.
you're telling.
Oh, no.
We're gonna go to Derek very quickly. I think it's good news when you come out early for
Yeah.
something like that. You want to get it in there for the shareholders, but bad for the short. Let's go to Adara.
So we have details here on that Apple event. It's called Let Loose, and it will be taking place May 7th, 2024, as said there, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So that's the news there. I'm not clear as to whether this, or they haven't made it clear as to whether this is a replacement for the Worldwide Developers Conference or the AI announcement, but it will be happening on May 7th. That's the Let Loose event. Also, so with regards to the silicone AI servers news, so this is Apple reportedly looking to develop its own AI servers using TSM's process, and they're targeting mass production by the second half of 2025. However, this news was reported by Mac Rumors, according to a Weibo user, so no clarification on that from any sources there, other than this Weibo user reported by Mac Rumors, guys.
All right, Roblox is still holding above the breakout, so it got that 37.5. Well, I took 48s in front of the half level. Still think if you're going to stair step to the upside, remember we mentioned Roblox has room, so it's gotten to, it's gotten to the first level almost essentially 37.70, but 37.50 is pretty close. We've taken profit into that. I think you can get into that 38, but the next step would be a healthy dip buy. So if we're going to go for a dip buy, VWAP sits at 36.6 or the breakout level around here, 37.
Whoa.
So I want to look for that. Apple, I was asking myself, like, do I want to reverse
Apple's
long?
starting to piss me off.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Apple, especially after that news. Kind of felt it is what it is, man. Like, you get news in the middle of the day that shifts your thoughts. It was just showing resistance and working, and all of a sudden it reversed on us. So my gut is to stay away from it. It is frustrating when the stock that you really like, something changes midstream at like 10 o'clock, and then you can either bugger off or find something new. Cannot get better than VWAP on Intel, but the good sign for this, at least, why I'm not really doing much of anything else with it, is the NASDAQ's pressing into resistance. We haven't broken the top yet on Intel. And when that's not happening in this and other chip names, if we do roll over in the market, I do think this has some room to the downside. NVIDIA cannot seem to break past 815. ARM, I thought it would be a 100 short. We're at 98. We talk about being patient. Yesterday, I was impatient with ARM, and that was the only time we didn't make money on shorting the stock. So got to wait for 100. I think it has a chance to get there the way that it's going, but I'm not moving away from my level. And Rivian can't seem to break past that 910 level as well. Micron's worth a look there. Shout out to you, Julia. Appreciate you. Micron's pretty strong today, up 2%. So this is the chip name that seems like it's carrying things.
Crazy. It's 1011. I haven't
Why
looked
is
at one
Micron?
chip name. Isn't that wild?
Why is Micron?
I haven't even looked at a chip name yet. But
Oh,
that's
remember
okay.
Spotify?
Kind of.
So it is just hugging. We talk about pulling back into VWAP and hugging. This is what hugging VWAP looks like.
Well, come
I mean, there's a lot of other examples of it as well, but this is what hugging VWAP to me looks like. For a $300 stock, that's 304 to the downside. If you can get fives, you're $1.50 risk, and if it runs the tops, that's $10 to the high of the day. If the market's strong, this is a big one, Spotify, and apparently DJT's headed to the downside. Oh yeah, Virgin Galactic's at 95, real close to that dollar level.
I'm really upset
Real
about
close
Apple,
here.
man. I feel like we had that
Oh, never
Apple, and then we didn't do anything. We went long. We started to take out a little bit of profit there on the long, and then it dropped out. So everything is fine. DJT, Trump is fined an amazing $10,000 for violating a gag order.
$10,000.
Yeah, so sell your DJT ASAP. Down 3% right now is good old Donald's stock over here. So just watch out now, and we'll see what's going to happen with Donald J.
$10,000, huh?
And Co. Right there, DJT, a big 10 G's coming out of his pocket. And here it is right here. New York prosecutors, they must want to get their lunch paid for today. $10,000 right there. So, oops, there it is right here, wrong story. It's this one. Let me close service now, although I do like that. What's up to Frank Slootman and company, although I think he's out. 10,000 for violating gag order. So not bad, but there it is. We'll bring it to your attention again because it's a trading show. So there could be other stations out there that may be talking about nothing like this, but here it is, nice mover in DJT. And I don't know if other shows will show you these kind of winners, but there it is right there. Let's spin it again on Roblox as we're starting to go to the upside. This is P&L1 for me today, and it is sticky note. I mean, I think the sticky note's been real good, man. Amazon long at 176. I mean, that name brought me all the way back. And then we got, so I thought I was getting out of Apple, by the way, and instead I was getting short on Amazon. So, hey, what's up? My name is Sean. I can't tell the difference between a P and an L, but we got in and out there. So we were out of Amazon. I mean, our target was 178. We got out of a little bit too many up here, but it was still near the highs. So we're pretty happy with that. And look what's happening to Apple right now. Come on, man. My out was right here at 60. That's the high. So we would still be in this, but that news popped, and that's part of trading, right? What are you going to do about it? Couple good outs there on Roblox as we're almost out of this. And this is why we talk about how we talk. We getting out of stock when it rips up, even though it doesn't necessarily hit our goals. When you've got the shares on there, for me, I'm going to start to just piece them out, and I'm really, really mad about Apple. But we'll move on to other names there. Spin the Dollar Trade Club. You're right there, DS Trader. I don't know what trade you're on, but what was the big earnings name that we had last
Spotify.
week?
Well,
Spotify, yeah.
Spotify is the
I said we
biggest.
could get to 10. What is it at right now? So
That's the biggest one. No, it got to 14. It was a dip buy.
come
It
on.
ran.
Man, we talked about that 312 level. Just rewind. Oh, that's too bad. That was a good short. Okay.
My frustration is
Always
going to
miss.
be, remember when I said Virgin Galactic was at 95? It's getting really close.
Yeah.
It was at 97, and it had tagged $1.
Damn it.
So on the way back in, I'll be candid, I got 15% of the shares that I paid for short because I didn't really get that move. So unfortunately, like on the way back in, I kind of missed it, but you still have to trade it the same way. So I took some out at 93, I got a bid at 91 at VWAP, but I got a fraction of what I was looking to get there. I missed that spike into $1. I mean, I had a couple of other level 2s up there. Very quickly, just as we're going on, so Virgin Galactic at $1 short in front of it. We're breaking VWAP now on Intel, so that's starting to work into the downside. Got to be patient with these names. That's been trying to stay the course, but it has not broken this pre-market high. So once again, this looks like a bit of a dog. I believe we're going to Adara at the desk.
Worth noting as well for that DJT news. So New York prosecutors asking the judge for that $10,000 fine. It's not gone through. So depending on any news we get from this fine with regards to whether it does go through or the amount, it could be worth keeping an eye on DJT here. At this point, prosecutors are just asking for this fine. It has not been delivered or approved, guys.
Right. Like I said, I mean, these guys probably are hungry. They want to go out for lunch, these damn prosecutors. Okay, 166.16 right there. We're back into Apple, so let's just hit the sirens and see. I mean, it dropped right in to the level 166 there. We have the 50-period moving average. I know there's news around this. Again, an event now announced for May the, Adara can get this, May the 7th. Is that right? Yes, 7th. Bang. May the 7th coming through. So we'll just try this against 166. You know, I mean, this is part of trading, right? You got to have the ability to sort of change up the game plan when it's there. And I'm switching it up, man. You know, like if I was the Leafs, obviously I would put in a healthy Nylander, obviously. But I was pretty happy with the way they performed yesterday. Get well soon, Willie. Do we even know what's wrong with them, BPI there? Yeah, they're not disclosing. Why is
Isn't that normal? You don't really.
But
You don't, in the playoffs, you kind of, it's that thing, you don't tell people what's wrong with the player. Because then when they come back.
The guys have missed any time in like 3 years.
Well, that's
so
when
that's the worry spot.
You know something's up, right?
Yeah,
but,
so we're a little
the problem is if he comes, and the reason, if you're not a
Let's go,
hockey
Apple.
fan, the reason they don't is because then if he comes back and you've said what's wrong with him, then guys
Well, it's
will know.
all sports. Like even in hockey, in football, they're
Well,
like, dude, Tom Brady or like all these guys were like game time decisions for pretty much their whole career because they
Sometimes-
don't have to disclose what they're in.
yeah, but other teams, they're supposed to. Although,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Although when Bijan Robinson apparently had an issue, I'll never forget that, and the coaches said absolutely nothing, and then everyone got a fat 0 in their fantasy lineups, including myself, when the guy played like 2 snaps, and they fined him for it, thankfully, because that's what should happen. There's so much gambling on sports, you got to pick a lane, man.
It's the only reason
You
most
gotta,
people watch
That's what I'm
it.
saying, but you got to let people know. If you're supposed to disclose information because people are going to be gambling, you got then you have to follow those rules, right? Like if that's what you want to play and you want that revenue, then you have to cater to that audience. Very quickly, none you wanted to know on Affirm, it's a boring trade and it's a loser and it's the worst one today. Well, for me anyways. It just broke. We had the short underneath resistance. We said we short it back into this level. It broke 31 right away at the open. I didn't even look back at it because it couldn't get back underneath 31. In, out, not gonna hold it past my stop. Now we're working with other trades. Virgin Galactic in Apple. Sorry, not in Apple anymore. Rivian, Roblox. Roblox, by the way, in the dip.
Go Apple.
Right back into 37. Okay. So we got the break obviously happened. It got to 37.5. It double tapped 37.5. I think this is like the pullback into VWAP moment here for Roblox. So if it bounces off VWAP, I want to look to get a bit of a bid if we can. Grab it. Intel's probably going to be a reload in here. It's bouncing off VWAP. If it gets back up to that top, I think I reload it. For now, it's trending down, doing what I'd like to see happen in that name. And Virgin Galactic, I always hesitate to reload if it tries to take $1 the second time. I feel like it makes that move the second time, it's apt to break out, and it's got a short float and all that good stuff. This is a big reversal. When you're shorting that $1 level, I feel like you take it that first shot and kind of make your money there and don't try to force it. I learned that lesson with Sundial a couple of years ago. I think some of you, you guys were probably here if you were watching early on YouTube. I had a great short off the open at Sundial and $1, and when it retested it later in the day, I decided to not only short it again, but short it for like 5 times as many shares, which was obviously a bad decision at the same price level. Literally everybody and their mother was on that offer. When it broke, it got nasty. So I'm not going to be reloading this $1 level on Virgin Galactic. We've taken our one swing at it. If it loses $1, fair enough, but I'm getting bids out in front of VWAP and then trying to hold maybe 20% down into like 85, 86.
All right. Ticker DJT
It's still
going
falling.
lower.
10,000 fine shouldn't really.
Right now.
Because you don't have to like.
Man, this has been a good day, man. This has been a good day. It's too bad that, like I said, Apple sort of turned us up there a little bit. I do see what you're saying there in the chat. And man, did we call this trade? Shout out to keep shouting out BPI over here because he switched. He's like a Palantir and a Mara guy right now. So shout out to my Palantir guy over there because look at this movement up 5%. We said this was a possibility. Remember, I was like, all right, we think Palantir can get to this 22 area, and that's where we'd be looking at that short. So that high right there is 22 flat today, but that's not what I was talking about. I was trying to find out for if and when we are wrong on this trade, what do we want to do about it? That's 22.20. So 20 cents worth of risk here on Palantir. Probably worth it. The thing is, we have now broken above. Remember the level that we talked about. I wanted to, as it was written, again, on the sticky note, and again, what an out that was on Amazon up there at 177.70. Amazon's back to 177 flat. We will consider reloading that as well. I wanted the 17.5 short. So now you're starting to go, you're at 17.530. I mean, a possible shorting area here on the close of the 18th there. So possible area coming through for a short as well. So maybe there is something here looking like a short. Roblox, you want to talk about a reload, and wow, there it is, man. Let's go, Roblox. Nice trade back up to the upside right there. We're not even out of anything. We got something out at 20. We were just waiting at 28, and it stopped on us. So good little reload there on Roblox. Again, that sticky note nation, as we talked about it. And, you know, I was going to think about this. For all the ladies out there, if your man keeps talking about fruit salad, then you got to let that man go. You know, mangoes?
Dad joke of the day.
You know? It's called content.
Authenticity of a dad joke, but, you know, it is what it is.
That's what it is, yeah. It's what it is.
I believe. I mean, sometimes you got to go for it.
Hey, man, when you're in a good mood, you're doing these trades, you got that.
Look, man, I will throw dad jokes out there that hit or miss all the time. Who cares? You got to have fun with it. And apparently, we got to go over to the small cap
That hit
recap.
incredibly well.
Let's go on over to Adair.
IWM right now outperforming both the NASDAQ and the SPY. We have the Russell 2000 over 1.5% to the upside here. So nice look here, though. We are seeing a bit of slower momentum here for the IWM. Some slower momentum in some of these small cap movers as well. We have OPRT, Opportune. This one up about 35% after announcing positive preliminary Q1 revenue. So nice preliminary look here for OPRT. Next up, we have Palisade Bio, PALI. This one has run in the past. Right now up over 30%. Very small float here, about 836,000 shares, announcing a collaboration with Strand Life Sciences. So PALI, nice look. Last but not least, this one's a day 2 runner. New Gen IVF, also above 30% here for NIVF. This one announcing yesterday a non-binding term sheet for a potential reverse merger with European Wellness Investment Holdings. So nice look across the board. Quite a few small cap movers to keep an eye on.
Speaking of small cap movers, one that might be up 24%, but I still think is probably headed for the gutter, and that's going to be Virgin Galactic. I'm not going to make a crashing joke because you don't when you go up into near orbit, like it's I don't wish anything bad. I want to go up into space one day, and with any luck, by the time it's reasonable for me to do so, these guys will still be around. Decent chance they might not be, but somebody will be because the technology is going to be there, and someone can always pick it up.
Destruction of wealth in that name is huge too.
Yeah, well, the only difference, I would say that not very many people, I don't think, when we compare them to some of the ARC stuff, like not many people are investing in Virgin Galactic compared to some of the other stuff. Let's be real. But very quickly, Virgin Galactic holding 92 cents, VWAP's at 91. I took another, I was waiting at VWAP, but just to give you an update, when there was another bounce off this 92 level, I took some more shares out at 92. So I still want to hold through if we can get it. But it's a one shot at that. We got 97s on the way back in. I got a couple of fills, actually, 96.8 and then 96.3. It's like first in, first out, as Sean was mentioning. So, I mean, the average price obviously going to work out to 96 and change, and it doesn't really do the fractions here on ours, which does matter when you're trading penny stocks. Apple, I got away from it. There was the news that came out.
I cannot believe that. We were so right.
No, it is what it is.
Oh, my God.
But, they dropped that news of the early event on May 7th. That shot the spike through a resistance level. I'm going to take my stop outs every single time. It's just a style of trade that breeds consistency. Reload on Roblox at 37. It is a bit of a lower high here. So we got to watch out for this, as some things are starting to come back in a little bit here. Even the strong names are starting to bounce back down. I'm looking over at NVIDIA, which is 3%, and it was pointed out to me that SMCI is having a bigger day. 8% to the upside on SMCI. That said, ARM still can't break the top. So I keep waiting for 100 and waiting for 100, and it does not want to get to 100. If the other two destroyed names last week are going and ARM can't seem to bust those highs, then it's showing me a resistance level here, and I'll take a shot at it. So you got 98.5. So if we get 98 fills, I'm going to look for the short on ARM, only because I see so much strength in the other two that if this can't take out those highs, then it's got me a level here. But if we do get out 98.5, it doesn't mean I wouldn't trade the 100 level.
Man. I mean, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys real ones. Because this is what trading's going to be, right? I mean, we nailed... I really like that Apple short. We kept talking about it, and then that news came out and completely changed the whole trajectory of what was happening. That move to the upside. It came out as almost immediately as we were breaking lower. And then all of a sudden, boom, we covered. We had the wherewithal to cover. I'm happy with that because I think we were right. And then I just took the news as a good sign, and we went long, but it was not a long. But the market's a long. The market is popping right now. So I'm thinking that Apple just got washed out a little bit here. And people like me are like, what the? So let's just wait to see what happens now. We'll try to go back long here on Roblox, or we're already long Roblox, on Apple, because we fell into the 200 period. But again, I'm still pretty dead red on this name. But as the market takes out highs here, we need to be in this. So we'll be back into Apple. Obviously, Roblox will be PL1. We'll talk about that. We're into Palantir just right now at 97. So we'll see. It just bounced around O's. We'll take some more. That high right there is 05. So let's take a little bit more up in and around 05, waiting out for that 22.20 to break. So 20 cents or so for Palantir. We'll see if we can get it back to the low side. Hopefully that does go. And then there goes Apple again a little bit. So we'll put it out for 20 cents if we can get something in and around 95. Good little dip buy for sure on Apple. Let's see what we can do right now as this market tries to battle back, as it's 10:30 30. And yeah, lots of trading still to go. Look at this NASDAQ, man. If you didn't buy that dip 2 days ago,
bye-bye.
You've missed out on quite a nice move the last couple of days. So yeah.
Still a lot of earnings to sift through.
Damn you, Apple.
You got all the biggies later on this week, right? Like, I mean, come on. Like, we still have Alphabet. We still have Microsoft. We got Meta this week. You got Tesla tonight. So there's a bit of a gauntlet. So you're getting a relief rally into that, but it doesn't mean it's all over. Back over to Rivian. Rivian still won't break this 910, but it's here. So if it breaks that local high, this is from last week, then we're out of this one. So while the market's been going, this has been cresting that level the entire time. We've been short Intel. I'm going to go off the 15 minutes so I can show you the levels on Intel. We got some VWAP out. I had some bids underneath VWAP if it continued, and then we're only reloading up top here. I want to make sure if I'm shorting this again, it's got to be tighter to that 60 level than we were before. So Intel has been working. I said Rivian, if it broke, we'd get out. That just came through. I'm going to be managing. Rivian broke that 910, so we're out of it. I'm going to get one more leg out here on Virgin Galactic. If the market's going to keep going, I'm not saying this follows the market, but I want to respect the fact that we are trending to that upside. And if this does break, you know, this has a squeeze potential to go higher, so you do want to make sure you're ringing the register and taking profits when you go against the grain. It's a low floater. It is a different type of name than things that are going to follow the NASDAQ, but it doesn't mean I don't want to trim when a short starts working. So a little bit more out here at the 92 on Virgin Galactic. As mentioned with Rivian, if it took out 910, I'm getting out. I had shorts under 9. My average price was just above the $9 level. It's a 10-cent hit, but I'm not letting it hold above that 910 level. That was a hard stop for me. It was never a 9 short. It was a short at or above the 9 price into $9.10, and we've been waiting for that one a couple of days, but I'm not going to hold it through that resistance level. NVIDIA is at 825, so I think it's put up or shut up time, but I chose to go for ARM instead of NVIDIA. Like, ARM is chilling out here at 98, NVIDIA is at 825 and just ran another $10. So I feel like I've got one that's at least a little bit weaker in addition to Intel here. So you had to pick your poison, and I'm going to go for the one that's not making fresh highs. Let's go to the desk. We've got Adara and our crypto update.
Interesting crypto adjacent story coming late yesterday. As reported by Bloomberg, 2 SEC lawyers have resigned after they were criticized by a Utah judge for an abuse of power in a crypto-related fraud trial against digital licensing, otherwise known as DebtBox. So 2 SEC lawyers resigning over some issues with the crypto-related fraud trial. Bitcoin itself pretty flat on the day here, just below the 67,000 level after a pretty steady uptick over the last few days in regards to that halving and moves related to the halving over the weekend. So right now pretty flat here, but Ethereum getting a nice bump up here, up into 3,250. So nice look there for ETH. A lot of other crypto related names pretty strong here. BNB and Solana both up just shy of 2%. Ripple up 2.3%. Dogecoin up 0.3%. So nice smaller moves here today across the board for a lot of these cryptocurrencies, and we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Sign up today for 50% off their premier news and research platform for retail traders with code TTV, capital letters. Use the link in the description to go to checkout.
All right, and we are checking out right now. Thank you, Adara. We are checking out Apple right now because we're back in the money. It's 40 cents. Let's go. Nice move back for Apple up into the 50 period. Moving average, so we'll take something out there if we can get it at in and around that 166.20 spot right there. So yeah, man, we're back into the spot right here with Apple. All right, Palantir. All right, so we're short this. We do have some bids. Well, I'm going to put some bids now as we have a decent amount of shares. So we'll put some bids down here. That bottom right there is 93.94. So I put a 93 there. Let me just put a quick 94. We'll put a 93 and a 94. So we'll just spread it out. I know it's not amazing or anything like that. That's just to get out of a piece. You know how we always take like a dime and stuff like that? So we'll do that, and then realistically, the drop down for me would be in this area, into 80, 85. Again, that gives us close enough to that 1-to-1, so we'll see if we can print down here at 85, and then we'll go from there. So quick couple outs here, 94, then 92. I'm gonna put it at 92. And then if we get those fills, then great. But again, this is gonna be very, very market dependent because the market's ripping. And I mean, when I just went to go grab a drink, we were only up 1.1. Now we're up 1.4. and really starting to go, really starting to get heated up. So take your profits on the shorts and ride those longs, baby. So there it is right there. And what to call Amazon, if you're able to still hold on to that one. All I've done today, and every day, I basically learned the same lesson, so it's kind of getting repetitive, and I need to start to do it. And that is that wait. Like, we would be ridiculously up instead of flat on Amazon if we just waited for 176. Now, you never know if the trade's going to come in because the market could just rip off the jump, okay, and then you're done. But the market didn't even go down, and Amazon just kept on going. So we thought we were dead wrong, which is why we had to get out. And we didn't actually take too big of a hit. It was this part right here that sucked, this drop of this pre-market level. So it was kind of like this loss of 40 or 50 cents there that kind of hurt. And then on the way back up, we wound up getting most of them out here at 70, like 176.90s or so. And then that's our last piece out there. So we got back and forth there because I was hitting the wrong key. But that's what's happening there. So I still really like Amazon. Palantir did drop into the low mid 90s, but didn't go anywhere. So we're
What
lucky
was the
enough.
story on Palantir?
Nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we, as far as I know, I was only calling it up because I knew this $22 level, and then it was on the buy.
No, I just looked at the chart and was like, I look over, I see
Well,
the
you know
chart,
what,
I'm
we
like,
do
oh,
have
okay, maybe
a,
there's something there on Palantir.
We do have
5%.
a sponsor here, Benzinga. Palantir, unusual option activity yesterday. So yeah, they don't have anything on here. So yeah, Palantir just going to the upside. Again, you know what I think it is? I just think it's, again, good
Relief
companies.
rally for the beaten up.
Yeah, yeah, not even beat up.
AI names that pull back.
Yeah, I just think it's like I honestly, I don't even know the price of NVIDIA.
825.
825.
So I got here's what I'm going to do.
Talk
today.
about buying dips. Oh
Here's what I'm
my
going to do
God.
today. Had the NVIDIA breakout. We're down on NVIDIA. Had the coin breakout, but didn't hold on to it.
Down on coin.
And look, yeah, it happens sometimes here on the break. If I scalp it all out, we're up. But it did not hold a breakout. I'm like, okay, we'll go stair step up and try to catch it with some higher lows. Never got into position, especially here. A coin's going to give the break that we want. It's going to give the move that you wanted. But that's fine. Like, making a call is one thing.
Right.
Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. And you got to be able to say, hey, this time I missed it on that one. NVIDIA, I don't mind because that trade, which has worked, I think it's the last, now that we've taken 2 hits on it, it's the last 13 times that I've taken this in the last month, that particular breakout step. So it's like 11 for 13, and it's always been works right away or not. It's a difference with that Coinbase, gets a multi-day level. That said, you got to move on to the next. The next was ARM, which was not breaking highs. All right, so I bid in front of VWAP on ARM, and then for whatever reason, this is the candle that happened. I just got hit on ARM at 97.30 for a 70-cent win, and it's just flushed another $1.50. The difference between ARM, why it feels like this is flushing, and the others is, I just showed you NVIDIA chart you've already seen. SMCI, if you're looking at some of these other names, look at the move on SMCI. Straight up, higher lows, all that good stuff. Whereas ARM, during the last part of that push, was showing you resistance. So let it make a high, let it make a lower high, short it back at 98, and I think we can see 95 here today. It's probably too strong to break the lows. So I'm just going to hop on the bid here and be happy that we got that one. Virgin Galactic is now chilling, but it's bounced off VWAP here. So like I said, I don't necessarily want to reload this one in front of $1. If it gets to $1 this time, I let it break, and if it wants to fail to break, then I would look for the short on Virgin Galactic. Intel was short 34.50. It's at 34.50. But that has also not broken the high. And Roblox, on the reload of Roblox, it just dipped back into 37. We got the 37, could not break the quarters, so we got some out in front of the quarters. So this is still holding that general breakout of the 37 level. I had 13s the first time. The last fill we got was actually at 37.03 in front of 37 even. So still working. Paula Blackford asked, what about AMD? You know, I haven't looked at AMD. You only have so many charts and level 2s that you can pull up at any given moment. So yeah, AMD I haven't looked, and AMD, wow, barcoding at the highs right now. So if you're into that sort of a thing, that would look like a bull flag to me, and that's the lesson this week. I think they're learn to trade. Well, specifically, they're talking about bull flag dip buys on small cap stocks. But,
okay.
I mean, that looks like a bull flag to me on AMD. But I picked ARM because it couldn't break higher, and that's working out, and that pullback like $1.50. But this is holding the highs. So I'd still say ARM is a better opportunity to short as opposed to something pressing the top right now.
You actually just said something that really resonates with me, and I never really understood it almost until we started to do this. I always understood it, but you talked about like actually executing something as it's happening. You know, it's like, it's much, much different as you're sitting here, like, as they say, in the wild. That's why, like, now I think about it, they say, those that can't do teach. It's so much easier to sit here and talk about, oh, if this pattern breaks or this bull flag, this is bringing us into the thing this afternoon, our afternoon lesson there. It's like, we can all say, oh, this is that, but it's, let's do the talking with the trades, you know, and that's the hardest part, is to sit here and talk like this and look for those ideas as they're happening absolutely real time. And I find for myself, it's like looking back, it's like, oh man, why didn't I hold that? Or why didn't I do that? Or why didn't I do this? So that's really something that resonates with me now, because yeah, it's like, oh my God, when you're sitting here in the fire, it's a little bit different.
You know where it's
so
the
that's
hardest?
why it's those, the saying is those who can't teach. That's what it is, right? So it is very, very difficult to do this. But we do have many lessons that are out here. But the most valuable lesson, and this is, you know, again, the most valuable lesson is sitting in front of your screen.
And executing.
Exactly, yeah, putting those, that's what I was going to say, putting those trades on.
Here's
you know,
the point.
that's why you can see, like you can ask us if we're up or down at any point. We can wax all the damn poetic we want. But at the end of the day, you have to judge yourself, like, hey man, like if you're a bank robber and you get caught every single time you rob the bank, maybe you shouldn't be robbing banks anymore.
Maybe,
all right, so
maybe you just like jail.
Yeah, or you just like jail. Or in this example, Neil, I think it's the same thing. It's like if you're trading, you're looking down and you're like, oh my God, this is a disaster. It's time to change it. You can listen to everything that we're saying, even myself, you know, and it's just like, okay, wow, did I ever screw that up? You know, so there are going to be opportunities throughout the day, but patience, understanding, and having the ability to pull the trigger on the right amount of shares at the right time, that is really all that matters. And by the way, right now, here we go, Palantir, and I'll pass it over to you in a second. Palantir is now coming back in. We have a decent spot right now on this name, so let's see how low Palantir can go on a loaded up position. So we'll see if this one can get into the downside. And man, I love Trailer Park Boys.
Great show.
We're starting to watch it again for the 5th time or something.
It's I'm doing Better Call Saul as my workout show because I watched stuff I've already seen before. After that, it's going to be Trailer Park Boys. I already have it lined up.
Yeah,
But,
and we
so
will
I
have
want to
a
go
bunch
through that a
back.
second time. I've seen them all, but I want to go through it again. Mr. Leahy is
it's
incredible actor.
the swearing's too much.
I understand
know
it's not for
sometimes
every-
I turn it off because it's a lot.
Might not be for everybody. I know some people get offended by it, but it's a lot of fun.
There's a new show, actually. I'll
Let's
talk
get
about
to
it
the
later.
desk. Not the desk, sorry, the big screen. We got Sector Watch here.
We're getting to the point in the quarter where we're going to see earnings dictating a lot of these sectors that are moving. Producer manufacturing very strong here, led to the upside by GE, which reported its first earnings after splitting off GE Vernova and GE Aerospace. So nice look here for all these producer manufacturing names. Commercial services pretty strong ahead of Visa earnings tonight. Utilities looking nice here as well. Transportation, nice move to the upside. Consumer durables notably strong. Tesla leading this group to the upside ahead of its earnings tonight, but GM also very strong after reporting a nice earnings beat this morning as well. So consumer durables definitely a space to keep an eye out for with some of these auto-related names. Health technology and finance all notably strong. And technology services and electronic technology, both good looks, but these are really going to come into play later in the week, especially Meta reporting after earnings after the close on Wednesday, and Microsoft and Alphabet reporting after the close on Thursday, guys.
You saw that board. It's all green, man. That is a super green.
What a day.
Super green board. 1.3 on the NASDAQ. Maybe we get to 2. Chef Joe, they're on Trailer Park Boys. You'll find on Netflix. I don't want to tell. I don't want to tell you too much about it. Hopefully,
They are Canadian. East
it's a
Coast.
Canadian show, but like you discover it for yourself. And
Shout out to Michael Noss.
I got a good feeling, Chef Joe, you're gonna like the show. I can't even I think about Bubs and Mr. Leahy and I start laughing. But just one quick update here.
Look at
ARM's
Apple.
starting to work back into the downside. I'm going to trail this to VWAP. You can see what's happening. If it gets back above like 97.5, I think it retests the high. But I think we can get to the lows on this. We've had a couple of things that have worked the whole way. That's Intel. I didn't quite get filled up there at 55. I've now canceled it, so I didn't get the reload there. But Intel and ARM are rounding themselves back into the downside. Virgin Galactic is what it is. If it gets back to, I'll probably stop out at like 97 cents and not even let it get to the dollar at this particular point. Day Trader Cut says Meta's coming down hard right now. Yeah, but that's mostly because look how strong it was to the upside.
Meta's nice.
Yeah, it almost got to $500 today. So still an upward trending stock, obviously, as you can see there. Ooh, it's rejecting the 50-period moving average here. So when you look up the daily chart, yeah, it got to a spot that looks like resistance. Obviously, on the 15, it still looks like a breakout. But if you got the short up in front of 500, that 50 period turning into a bit of a problem. You had to wait for it, but we're starting to get a little bit of a flush in the names that we got, both ARM and Intel working to said downside.
All right, everyone's favorite segment is right here, right now. Let's go. All right, what's for lunch? As we didn't have it yesterday, but yesterday was, I think it was some sort of like chicken cacciatore, like it's like some
Is that what you call it?
Italian red stew. Yeah, it is what you call it, yeah. All right, here's the menu for today. If you like chicken, you'll be disappointed because it's citrus-crusted salmon, which is nice. Citrus-crusted salmon fillet, that's a pretty light, easy lunch with some little bit of side basmati rice. And Chinese bok choy. So we'll go to the moon on that one. I think that's a very reasonable lunch. So there it is right there. And by the way, anybody that's rocking right here, we got another one. Damn you, Apple. This will be, okay, so we're making money back on the short. It was all good. I'm just, damage on this stock, not really. It's just being red on it really sucks because I'm feeling like the short was right. Then we came back into like the 200 there or so, let it drop in. I wasn't really looking at the levels. It was kind of just halfway. We saw a stopping spot there, and I was going to use 166.50 as my stop. It's still in there right now. So this is for 25 cents worth of risk. We're now 85 cents in the money, and we still got 25% of this trade, 20% of this trade on. So that's still a really good one for us right here. But P&L number one on the show right now is going to be Palantir. We waited for it. We called this one. And again, fire off those hot dog cannons because this one, if you just rewind to about 9:15, and I want to shout out whoever it was there in the chat. I think it might have been Hamster. What's up, Hamster? Get on that wheel, my guy. The thing is that, you need to be able to identify these things. I should have been sitting there on that level, but I wasn't. So big shout out to you, Hamster One, or whoever. I'm going to show you out anyway. Shout out Ponzi, everybody. But I believe that was you. So that's where, like we made half of our day just on this Palantir move. So that means a lot. And again, sticking with what you're doing. And I want to thank to Joanna Brewster as well out there for your kind words about that when I was talking about the teaching thing there. Mad respect to everybody out there, and a mad respect to all the teachers out there as well. Wow. And especially to the teachers of my kids. Blesses for that one. All right, shout out now to, I believe we're going over to Adara.
Apple, that Apple May 7th event here, seeing this article from CNBC, some speculation from analysts as to what this could be about. This is the tagline or the logo here for the event, which is called Let Loose. The fact that it does feature this Apple Pencil, which is their iPad stylus, and the news that we had earlier, there could be some new iPads, has some analysts speculating that this event will include the launch of some of these new iPad models. Also, Apple has been known to release some watch models in the spring, so that could also be potentially on watch here for this Apple Let Loose event, May 7th.
Come on, Apple.
Thank you very much, sir. We got that Apple news, kind of came out of nowhere, right? But that's part of trading in general, live trading, regardless. So you're never going to be free of something coming out of left field and moving a trade. All you can do in that situation is have your plan of action, right? So, it ran a stop that I already had on Apple. Unfortunately, it'll be a controlled hit because, again, we had a stop. And at the end of the day, sorry about the wick, guys, but at the end of the day, it only went another like 25 cents. So yeah, could you held it short off that level again? You probably could, but I'm not going to do that. Intel now working underneath VWAP, went right into yesterday's highs. Can't seem to go underneath afternoon support levels at 25. We got some 35 fills down there. ARM still working pretty nicely. As the reason for the ARM trade, it's like, why not? I said $100 and I was waiting for $100, and then it ran the stops through 98. So it broke the highs, came back underneath, and as SMCI and NVIDIA were making high, it just kept on going and going and going. This one failed and made a lower high, and that was it. It's just, okay, well, relative weakness, let's play with that. Can't seem to break that 96. I might take the 96, but at this point, I still think this one's going to be a bit of a dog. Let's see what happens there. We talked about Meta for you guys, but Roblox, that's the long that's coming into VWAP. So we've done scalping on this. I think it's got to hold VWAP for this breakout to continue. Up 5.5% on the JP Morgan upgrade for Roblox, and it's a good-looking level. It just has to hold that 200-period moving average. I still think you can get a continuation, but if it can't hold 36.80, you could be all the way back at 36.25, right? The market's up 1.2%. As you're making highs, you don't necessarily want to be reloading on something which hasn't shown you the bounce just yet. So I'm not going to take a third reload just yet on Roblox. Still about 10 minutes to go, so we got plenty of time. Do stick around, obviously, for Learn to Trade. We're always back at 2 o'clock, but we'll let you guys know, update the positions. I don't see anything on Meta. I might be going back on over to NVIDIA at some point if it continues the upward trend, but I think the market's in a bit of a dip mode. And if we're in the dip mode, I think you got to wait for VWAP for a lot of these trends to the upside. NVIDIA's sitting at 822. VWAP's exactly where we traded it for that breakout, that 813 to 815 level.
Man, okay. Let's just continue to look there. I did not, Roblox all the way to the upside. But again, I did not trade that well. I was just looking. I think I had like 8 times the position of Neil, but I only made 3 times as much. Not good risk management there for me on Roblox. Well done on that one, Neil, for sure.
Well, it's got. You know what? I was going to say this when you were talking. We were talking about the execution part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. So when I started trading, there was a guy in my group. We traded most of the same stocks, sat next to each other for years. And I remember, and I'll never forget this. It was like on the 5-year anniversary of our trading. It was like right around 5 years that we'd both been trading. And this trader I'd say he'd take 3 to 5 times as many fills as me. You guys can tell, like I adhere to stops. I tend to manage risk like really, really tightly. Everyone has their own particular style. So I would almost never get shut down. He'd get shut down often. We trade all the same stocks, but he'd take more shares, more entry points. I'd be a little bit more discerning. At the end of 5 years, we had a very similar net, but very different ways of getting there. And the best part about it was because of that difference, you learned more. So like you get a little bit more growth by learning different styles, or at least being exposed to different styles of trades, because at least then I'd be observing the spots that I could have pushed it more by recognizing, hey, you know what, if you risked less and that move worked, well, here's a spot that you could take a little bit more. And I like to think that that was good. That's why we try to give you guys different perspectives. That's why you have different styles of traders on the floor. That's why a trading floor is a good environment that we're trying to expose you guys to here, guys and girls in the chat. And in our trading community, because there's always something that you can learn from each other and the markets, as we can always learn something from the currency markets as well. How's that US dollar doing, Adara?
US dollar not doing particularly well this morning. This big red candle taking out the pretty flat movement we had over the last 2 days here. Pretty decisive move to the downside, all the way down now to 105.70. So a bit of a weak look here for the DXY. We had some economic data coming in that helped buoy the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and maybe brought this DXY to the downside. S&P Global Services PMI, Global Manufacturing PMI, and Global Composite PMI all coming in lower than expected. So that easing, not a good look here for the DXY. That's all the major economic data we had today. It is a bit of a lighter week for economic data. That is until we get into Thursday and Friday. Thursday, as stated earlier, throughout the week, we do have that GDP quarterly number coming in at 8:30 on Thursday, 8:30 on Friday. We get the Fed's favorite inflation gauge, PCE. So definitely 2 numbers to keep an eye out, especially as we wait ahead of the next FOMC meeting coming on May 1st, guys.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Ms. Adara, for all of that. All right. So we're just going to watch out. It's 10:52. Yeah, money talks, man. That US dollar has been a story. That is for sure. All right. So Apple's still 70 cents in the money. Palantir, like we said, And like it is a double-edged sword, right? When you use more shares, like we said, I mean, this is why, you know, we talk about that all the time, and it's just, you got to trade your style. So with Palantir, we started, I mean, this came back into VWAP, and as I told you about share sizes, we got to get some out when it comes back down into that level. So there you go. And when you use more shares and you can go, you know, 15 and 4, 15 and 3, it's decent, but you always want to improve. So that's why it's like 1 month comes, next month goes, and that's what we're doing. So I feel like missed opportunity of the morning was Amazon, because we could have put a hell of a lot more on here, and we just didn't. We just made back the mistakes. So in what should have been sticky note trade idea number 2 was Amazon. Number 1 was Apple. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with that one. We've already discussed that. Apple, I am still shout out to Uber, confident about my trading abilities with Apple.
Uber.
We nailed the long back up $1. You know, the short, I mean, this was in the money, you know, and then bang, news came out. Unfortunately, we got overfilled long, but that was not the hit. Then we made money back long again. Then now we're making money back long. But it was the short that we wound up getting stopped out at, I guess it was right there at 60. I mean, our stop was 60. So it's all of these shorts, not getting them all out, waiting for the waterfall, and then all of a sudden, bang, May 7th comes ahead of June, and they like that. And then they also announced they're doing their own chips.
It's also good.
Which is also good. And then I was like, okay, well, let's play the long on a dip. So we were able to make that back. Then we averaged back in, and it doesn't create as much of an issue as potentially it was in the first place. So that's what we're looking for right now. But I'm going to be as patient as I can, because if this market does what it's done pretty much every week, every day, the last couple weeks, I feel like is pull back a little bit here into close. So let's just see if Palantir's had its sort of day in the sun. You know, yesterday, here's a nice run up, but look what it did all afternoon. So this has the pedigree to do this again. So we are going to have to respect that. Even though we're well in the money right now, we still are going to have to respect this 2220 area that we talked about on Palantir. It's actually better right here. Here it is. So it's actually that level. So I'll average into it, but not until we get back to these highs of 2208. So that'll be where we average back in. Otherwise, we sit as patiently as possible and wait for Palantir to do something. So that's what we'll do. We'll wait for PLTR. We've actually got out of 60% of it already. Maybe more, maybe 65% of it already. So Palantir still in the pocket, but Neil, up 4%, not necessarily the best name to be shorting, up 4%.
But it's still working. I was about to talk about Virgin Galactic. It's up 20%. That being said, there's a distinct difference between Virgin Galactic and Palantir, and I'll let you guys figure out what that is. It's a bit of a trick question. I mean, they're so similar as companies, obviously, as I roll my eyes. But yeah, Virgin Galactic just broke VWAP again. This time, the 90 level is starting to get taken out. We shorted it when it failed $1 at 97. I said I would only hold on to the last, like under 20% of it. I got that last leg there, and now we're holding the last 20%. If it breaks down, 86 is still the next target, and then we can hold for the dream. At this point, I didn't care whether it was news on it. I just cared about, will it reject $1? And if it rejected $1, I wanted to short that first available play. We did it, and we'll see what happens for the afternoon, but I don't want to reload this one. I mentioned it before. Apparently, ACB and CGC are testing some highs.
Ooh.
See, that's not good. The problem with that one is, over the years on this show, like, we've probably used so many cannabis puns that at this point, it's like, how many times can you say they're testing the highs every time they go up? Because every single time these things actually do go up for once, you're using all of those types of jokes. But I haven't looked at them today. They've been on a nice little tear. Congratulations to anyone that had this breakout. See, look how clean that is. Like, it takes out the local high, call it 850 in here, and it goes right to $9. So a good look, maybe a dip back into previous breakouts. I've liked ACB better generally than CGC the last few weeks, but ACB maybe not as strong as CGC. That said, it's only breaking that top. Yeah, I can't get through 7s. It looks like CGC is the better one right now. I'd say CGC looks a little stronger than ACB, even though that's the one usually I want to be trading. So congratulations, and we land if you got it. Gatekeeper says they're shorting SMCI. Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. In a general sense, I like where your heart is at. I feel like it's like the strongest one today, isn't it? Up 9%, NVIDIA is up 3.7, ARM is up 4, AMD was up, what was it, 3? 2.8, so close to 3%. Yeah, SMCI is kind of the big one today. Good luck. I know it's at that even dollar level, but I'll stick with ARM because, I mean, Intel's a different story. They're reporting and they stink, but ARM just couldn't break out that 98. Sorry, Intel's not reporting today. Intel's reporting this week. They're the only chip name of anyone's paying attention to their reports this week, so I think they're going to be a dog into that report because they, generally speaking, tend to be very critical, or at least conservative, and conservatives probably going to get them hurt. But ARM couldn't break highs. That's why I'm short that one. The other ones, I don't want to be fighting the trend too far when it comes to these names. So we got about 2 minutes to go and learn to trade. You can always check out more Trader TV Live to see our positions or just throw it into the chat. You know where they're going to be there pretty much all day long. I still think that the chips are doing a relief rally that you can short into. You just have to be particular about your levels. And ARM and Intel are the only ones I've taken today, and I think I might keep it that way.
Yeah, we'll have a 2-and-2 day, man. Apple and Amazon wins, losses, sorry. Palantir, well, Amazon, okay, we're 2-and-1. Honestly, I'm not going to count Amazon as a loss because it's not, well, it is, but it's a fee thing. Palantir and Roblox wins, Apple lost. 2-and-1 today. What's up to Charlie Taff right here? But lots of trades, like lots of trades in all of them, and I hope we really showed our cards and the professionalism of taking those trades and being in them and talking through them. So that was really good. All right, right here. Shout out to Charlie Taff. Apologies if you already don't apologize. What is the implied move on Tesla earnings? So Charlie's such a great name. There's one girl for rep baseball that I'm coaching. Her name is Charlie. That's fantastic. And I love it as a boy's name. I love that name, Charlie, by the way. Okay, so the implied
Charlie
move.
Hustle, baby.
Yep, the implied move here for Tesla, 9.7. So 9. You can all find this at Market Chameleon. Calendar earnings. There's lots of sites like this, and how they get this, they'll explain it here. It's options, so they look at some of the forward contracts, they figure it out. Yeah, good luck, guys, on the midday. Thanks for BPI for always being so supportive. Right there. But you don't. I mean, luck is something that we all need for sure in trading. Danaher was before market open.
They crushed.
They did good, so that's a good one. Oh yeah, well here it is right here. Up. Yeah, I guess, is that previous move is today? Let me see. Oh, no, here it is.
They
Today's
were up
move.
8%.
This move, 7, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed that column. So, yeah, they're up 7%. Texas, GE, we've missed that one. They're up 4, so that's nice. Right there, a little bit under their implied move. I've sold GE. I'm out of that name. Lockheed Martin up 1 so far today.
UPS is good.
Reserve up 2. What else? Spotify. There's Spotify up 9, but I'm mad at Spotify because we called that 312 area and I didn't do anything about it, so that kind of sucks. Kimberly Clark up 5. Downside today, MSCI down 7. That's about it, unless there's names on the next page, which are going to be lower market cap.
Lockheed Martin was the other one.
Yeah, and what are they, up or down?
Well, okay, never mind. Dead flat. Remember we were joking about things being dead flat? See, it's possible. Lockheed Martin reported they are exactly flat right now. Although I will say, like as you said, is a big difference between, say, Tesla on earnings, being within 2%, which is more reasonable for flat. Exactly flat is so ridiculously improbable. Like, it's not even betting 0 at roulette. Like, it's just.
Oh, what
like
wound
well
up winning that?
No, the poll. I was about to show the poll.
Yeah.
Like, I think people bet flat as the joke first,
Yeah,
but
so the real one is that.
no,
so
it's
lower.
exactly 50. I'd say 50-50,
think
like
low.
lower 44%, higher 40%. But what does that tell you? This just tells me that nobody has any clue.
Oh, I'm on the higher. It's higher 142, remember.
Yeah, so I think we said like, what, 2%? We're going with like 2% up or down. But it's past 11 o'clock, which means, you know what it means.
day.
Let's go on over to the midday.
Go
It's been a
Palantir.
wild one. It's going to continue to be. We'll be back at 2, but for now, it is Adara and the professor. Go get them.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as a Midday Show. That in the four screen is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif.